What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Preston versus Elijah podcast. I'm Preston,
I'm Elijah.
and this is the podcast where we talk about whatever the hell we want. Whatever the thing that we are talking about that week, whether it's a nerdy thing we're interested in, TV show, movie, game. Elijah, what are we talking about this week?
There was a Nintendo thing, and it has a 2 in the Nintendo Switch 2. That, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2 Direct.
The Mario Kart Direct featuring the Nintendo Switch 2.
Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah. But before we get into that, first things first, thank you everyone so much for all of the downloads of episode 1. We got contacted by our podcast host, and they're like, what the heck is going on? Why do you have so many people downloading the episode on your first day? And we're like, we got an amazing community. Shout out to the Night Shift for coming out.
Shout out Night Shift.
And downloading and helping us out. We almost cracked the top 100 in the gaming category for Apple Podcasts, which is wild.
Absolutely insane. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's crazy. So thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us on wherever you download podcasts, either YouTube Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify Podcasts. Rate us 5 stars. Leave a review. It'll help us out and it'll help us get discovered more and potentially even expand, if you're part of the Night Shift community, the Night Shift. But also, like, it helps us out a lot as we do this fun little project together. But yeah, Elijah.
Yes.
Nintendo.
Yes.
Had us wake up
Mario Kart?
at the ungodly hour of 6 a.m. Pacific.
It was awful.
But
I haven't recovered.
I'm going to rug pull you because there was another Nintendo Direct last week.
Right, yes. Yeah, that one.
And I think in hindsight, after watching this Direct, that Direct made a little bit more sense.
It did. Yeah, 100%.
In my notes, I have 4 big takeaways and secretly like a little 5th one, but I'll talk about the 5th one last.
Yeah.
First off, Metroid Prime 4 being showcased last week is totally because they did not have time to put it in this Direct.
Oh, 100%. It's clearly, like, from the clips from the first Direct and the second Direct, it was clearly made for the Switch 2 and then downgraded back down to the Switch 1.
Which, honestly, because it's for both. Like, we'll talk about why, like, it makes sense. It's made for both. It gives it its little breathing room, and it's the perfect little midpoint for that Direct for what it was.
100%.
My favorite thing I've heard described about that Direct from people online is that was the Direct for the 3DS and GameCube fans. But also, my second point, for the PlayStation Vita fans.
What happened with PlayStation Vita?
Elijah, did you realize that 2 Sony IPs were in that Direct?
I did not realize that, no.
Patapon 1 and 2. It said on the Direct that it's being made by Bandai Namco, but if you read the little bar at the bottom as they're showing off the game that talks about like who owns the copyright, it's Sony Interactive Entertainment. And as
really
the brother of one of 5 PS Vita owners, I know too much about Patapon. I love Patapon. I was shocked to see Patapon. It turns out, and I don't know how I missed this news because I'm chronically online.
Yeah.
Sony has given Bandai Namco the rights to certain IP to revitalize it.
Really?
Which brings us to our second game, Everybody's Golf Hot Shots. Which, if you haven't played, has been outclassing Mario Golf the last few games.
I mean, I could poop out a golf game and it'd outclass Mario Golf.
But everyone knows the biggest reaction to the last Direct. And I don't know if you care about this game. But I do.
Okay.
Tomodachi Life's back, baby.
Oh yeah,
Tomodachi Life, baby.
Tomodachi Life.
Uh, my favorite thing is seeing people's reactions to Tomodachi Life and being like, why is this a big deal? This is such a nothing game. I don't think people realize that it was the 11th best selling game on the 3DS.
Yeah, it sold like crazy.
The only franchises to outsell Tomodachi Life are all of the 3DS Pokemon, all of the not all, a couple of the Mario games released for 3DS, Smash Bros, and Yokai Watch 2.
Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch beat it by 1 million.
People bought Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch 1 and 2 were fairly popular.
Really? I didn't know that.
With kids, but like still popular.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like
With like younger kids, it still sold 7 million worldwide.
I don't even know how like those games are played, to be perfectly honest.
You know what? Neither do I, and nor do I care to find out.
Yeah, I don't want to know, honestly. I don't care.
Yeah, because
I don't care enough.
I don't want to play a game whose version titles is sticky boogers or smelly farts.
Yeah. What is that real?
Hold on. Let's look up Yokai Watch title names. Yokai Watch games. Right? Yokai Watch is a multimedia franchise. Its first one is one game. The second game is Bony Spirits and Fleshy Souls.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yokai Watch 3.
That's in Japanese.
What's it called? Yokai Watch 3's title.
Psychic Specters?
Yeah, Psychic.
Oh no, it's just Yokai Watch 3.
Yeah, it's just Yokai Watch 3. They didn't have versions.
There's 3 Yokai Watch 2. There's Yokai Watch 2, Fleshy Souls, Bony Spirits, and Psychic Specters.
Yeah.
And then there's Yokai Watch Blasters, White Dog Squad.
White
and
Dog.
Yokai Watch Blasters, Red Cat Core.
This is a franchise I will never understand.
What were they going for?
I mean, it's what studio was it? I think it's Level 5. That's Level 5 makes some interesting games. You either get a Professor Layton or you get a Yokai Watch.
You get some Fleshy Souls and some Bony Spirits.
Hey, you take that back about my spirits. My spirits aren't bony.
Fine. Sorry.
Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble for Android and iOS.
Wibble Wobble, bro. You can't forget about Wibble Wobble.
Don't forget about Yokai Watch Dance, Just Dance Special Version.
Is that his actual name?
It is a version of Just Dance for Japan, for Wii U, that features the Yokai Watch characters.
That's okay.
Yokai Watch
Okay.
Jam, Yokai Academy Y.
Yokai Watch Land.
Yeah.
They got lazy at the end there.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But, like, you get Yokai Watch on one hand, but then you get Ni no Kuni, which is peak on the other.
Yeah. I don't understand how the same studio made both of those games.
Studio Ghibli partnered video game, Bony Spirits. Fleshy Souls. Anywho, Tomodachi Life is fantastic. It is a weird little game, and I can't wait. I think I'm going to say this right now, officially on stream, and officially for the podcast. For those who watch the Twitch stream, Kylie and I will be playing through the original Tomodachi Life as soon as she's done with her next Cozy stream. So we're gonna probably do a couple more Kai and Cozy streams more than once a month of us just playing Yokai Watch. Not Yokai Watch. Tomodachi Life. Elijah's gonna play Yokai Watch. Just kidding.
Elijah's not gonna play Yokai Watch ever.
You know what? Honestly, fair.
I don't need to experience whatever the heck that franchise is.
Imagine like we get a new listener and we get like a 1-star review. These guys don't understand the complexities of Yokai Watch and how amazing the series is.
They don't understand the highbrow humor of Yokai Watch.
Yokai Watch smelly farts. The Just Dance version is the best version of Just Dance, period.
Yokai Watch fleshy bones and dead spirits changed my life. It cured my cancer.
But also, I have a theory.
A game theory?
I mean, technically, yes.
Okay.
I think that direct was pretty tame. Like, there was a couple of, like, Preston games in there. Like, the SMT Demon Summoner is getting a HD remake under a new name, which basically it's Japanese name. Yeah. Right? There's like a couple things in there. Like, I'm a Patapon person. I'm going to pick up Patapon. Right? Patapon's silly and fun. I think that was Shinya Takahashi's last direct as the host.
Yeah.
I think...
Because we got 3 new hosts this time.
Yeah. But... I mean, we can just jump ahead to the direct. We don't need to talk about Mario Kart ahead of time because it's Mario Kart introduction to the 3 hosts and then back to Mario Kart.
Before we move on from the previous direct, though, Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Oh, yeah, that's so fair. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Incredible. What a Preston and Elijah game. What
incredible.
Holy crap. What do we got? We got Tribute Games and .emu working together again on a game. Bullet point number 1. They made one of the best TMNT games, period.
It's so good, dude.
2, they made just one of the straight up best beat 'em ups ever. Number 3.
Spider-Man.
Lopes.
Lopes, dude.
This soundtrack is about to be bangers. Elijah, would you like to explain who T-Lopes is for those who don't know?
T-Lopes is a guy who makes music really, really well.
Specifically, what was his most famous soundtrack?
Sonic Mania.
It's gonna be peak. It's gonna be so peak.
It's gonna be so good.
You get to finally play Nova.
Sonic Mania soundtrack. How do you like? And they included Nova, which if you guys don't know, my gamer tag is Supernova or Nova on everything, named after that comic book character.
Let's freaking go. Dude, and apparently those are the characters we saw in that trailer are not the only characters you can play as. There's more characters to come.
Crazy, dude.
Like, we have Venom, we have Spider-Man, we have Storm, we have Wolverine, we have Nova, we have one of the Captain Marvels. Am I missing anybody?
Did you say Captain America?
Cap, yeah, we have Cap.
The first character they show?
That's fine. Cap is the least interesting out of all those characters to me, to be honest.
What don't you like about Circle Man?
I mean,
Circle Man.
I don't dislike Steve Rogers, but like a playable Nova?
Playable Nova is the best thing that I've seen since my eyes started working.
Infinitely more interesting than another game with Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
But also, can we talk about how the animations for Spider-Man and Venom are based off of Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Can we just talk?
So good.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about like all of like the little tiny references, just in animation styles alone? Like, these guys are cooking. Oh yeah, Cameron, you can play as Venom. Don't worry. I know I don't usually look at chat.
As all 19 inches of Venom.
Yeah, I know I don't usually look at chat while we record the live podcast, but Cameron, you can play as Venom. Yes. Yes, you can. Uh, but it looks so good. Definitely a stream when it comes out.
Oh, 100%. At least one stream.
Oh yeah, dude. No, we're a couple.
We're beating that.
We're
We're
we're,
beating
be-
it.
we're beating the game multiple times. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, but I think if we want to continue on, right?
Yeah.
Shinya Takahashi, Yoshaki Koizumi have been the hosts of the Direct, and then the third was Reggie, but then Reggie retired, right?
Yes.
They were hosting the last 8 years worth of Nintendo Directs. They were the faces of the Nintendo Switch 1. And I think we need to give them their flowers because I don't think a lot of people give those two the credit they truly deserve.
Oh, 100%.
Behind the scenes of
They
Nintendo.
did an incredible job.
Well, do you know what their pedigrees are?
I don't.
Shinya Takahashi has basically been the general manager for all of the non-major Nintendo franchises, so not Zelda, not Mario, basically Zelda, Mario, and any of the spin-off Mario stuff, right?
Yeah.
For every other franchise, like he's been the general manager over the studios in Japan for like Metroid, Animal Crossing,
Really?
WarioWare. Like all of those studios, he's been the general manager and he's been the one who's been helping guide those studios for since like mid 90s.
That's a long time.
Koizumi, we're talking about the director of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Oh, yeah?
We're talking about the Link's Awakening director. Like,
that's crazy.
We're talking about the producer of every 3D Mario game, and he co-directed Mario 64 with Miyamoto.
This guy is crazy.
He's the senior executive director of all of the studios now who make the big franchises. So Mario, Zelda, I think Splatoon's also part of that studio.
Yeah.
I think what's crazy is that we're reintroduced to one person in this direct. Kawamoto. He was the director of hardware design for Switch 1.
Mm-hmm.
The only person to return from the director team from Switch 1, because Takahashi and Koizumi are nowhere to be seen in this direct and aren't in leadership roles for the production of the Switch 2.
Really? They're taking a step back then?
I think we're about to see the first console generation led by the third generation of Nintendo developers.
Wow.
The GameCube generation programmers and game designers are finally stepping up for their first generation that they're heralding on their own.
It's gonna, that does seem like what's gonna happen. And it's gonna be really interesting to watch.
And I think what's interesting is that if you look at the lineup for this direct, before we continue on, before we talk about anything, looking at what these guys did and then looking at what was announced Nintendo-wise makes too much sense. Kawamoto, producer, director of the Switch 1. His accomplishments were all of the not necessarily regular game stuff, but hardware-related things that we kind of took for granted that people are begging from other things. Like the creator of Street Pass.
Oh, really?
AR for the 3DS.
Really?
WarioWare.
Just straight up WarioWare?
He was one of the conceptual designers for WarioWare.
That's awesome.
The creator of Labo.
Bro.
And was the hardware just the regular director and helped design the hardware and concept for the Switch 1.
That's awesome.
Toshihiro Dota, who is the director for this Switch. His pedigree is also super interesting if you go on the Nintendo wiki and kind of read what he's done. All of them were hired either like the year I was born, 97, or in the early 2000s. So they were hired on as the N64 was wrapping down, and then kind of ramping up to GameCube and DS.
Yes.
Right? Super Mario 64 DS designed the touchscreen to replicate analog control.
Uh-huh.
Programmed Wii Fit, Wii Sports, Wii Play.
Oh,
Programmed
really?
one of the main programmers for Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah. The best one, in my opinion.
Help support the programmers for Skyward Sword, Mario Kart 7, technical director for Breath of the Wild.
Whoa.
Technical director for Tears of the Kingdom.
That is crazy.
Technical supervisor and advisors for Xenoblade, Xenoblade 2, Mario Odyssey, Link's Awakening Switch, and Ring Fit Adventure.
Dang.
Directing the Switch 2 as a whole, overseeing the entire Switch 2 launch and all of the things that are going on the hardware, all of the features.
So the price is his fault.
No, we'll get into that. The one who has the least amount of known credits is the third guy, Tetsuya Sasaki. Hardware lead design, but you might know him as the guy who basically made Wii Sports work, Wii Play work, Wild World work. He was the main programmer for Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Really?
He was programmer and supervisor on Double Dash. And he's the director of Nintendo Systems Corporation Limited, which is the studio that is the bridge between Nintendo and DNA, who makes all of the mobile games. So basically he's in charge of the mobile games division.
Okay. So Mario Kart Tour was his fault.
Mario Kart Tour is his fault. I will give you that one. But we have these three guys that are coming in. It is the first one where it's like Miyamoto is not seen once in this presentation.
Yeah, that was weird.
Koizumi,
Miyamoto.
Koizumi, the second generation programmers and his main successor to take over the Mario franchise. Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
We don't see the Zelda producer for the first time in relation to a Zelda game.
Yeah.
It's very clear that the first Switch, the last Nintendo Switch 1 Direct, was we are also saying goodbye to the second generations of devs being in charge. I think Tomodachi Life 2 is the last one in their initiatives of the games that they are in charge of.
Yeah. That would make sense.
And I think that's so weird.
It is a weird game to end on.
But it makes sense. Like, we're talking about, 6 million copies, over 6 million copies sold worldwide.
Like, I feel like I personally would want to end with a bigger bang than that.
Well, here's the thing. They've already done their bigger bangs. Like, if we just want to talk about retrospective of the Switch real quick, we open up with Breath of the Wild. We open up with a Koizumi Mario Odyssey. We open up with a Mario Kart that's being redesigned and remade, even though it was one that we'd seen 5 years earlier, that was completely redone in terms of how items work, how the lighting engine fully works, all of that, and it's optimized way better.
And has a battle mode.
And actually has the features it needs, right? We have what's probably the second to last game Sakurai makes. Smash Bros. Ultimate, and he spends that project for a long time. And remember, he didn't stop after Smash 4. Xenoblade gets its flowers finally, right? We have all of these different games. Like, you can go up and down, and like every single franchise was hit for some of their best sellers.
That is true. The Switch was really good to a lot of franchises.
Yeah. I think like they basically said we're going to do one more banger underneath us. Okay. You're up to bat. Like some of these people where it's like Kawamoto and Dota, who's like in charge of all of these beloved features for 3DS and Switch, and the technical director who made Breath of the Wild somehow run on an Android, and Tears of the Kingdom on an Android, and so many other games run on this device, with the help of obviously overseeing people from sub-studios like Monolith, who was like a god tier at doing some of these optimization things, step into the leadership roles finally. And I think it's interesting. Because now we're finally seeing kind of like, I don't know if you remember this quote, but Miyamoto during the Wii U generation was like, we are finally starting to prepare the next generation of people to step up. And so this is kind of the fruition of that. And like the start of that was the creation of Splatoon, an IP that Miyamoto said that none of the first generation staff would ever want to do, a shooter.
Oh yeah.
Right?
But it's such a unique shooter. Like it's such a Nintendo shooter.
Oh yeah. But it's like, it's nothing that like they would have done. That was the proof in the pudding that this generation, like that is a third generation programmers and designers game. Like those were the third generation's first IP.
Yeah.
Right.
And they knocked it out of the park.
But considering one of Dota's most famous games is Double Dash, let's look at Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
Elijah, one of your favorite franchises of all time.
I love Mario Kart so much.
Word vomit, go.
It looks so, the art style is so good, and there's so many different characters, and all the characters have costumes, and you can play as a snowman, and you can play as a penguin, and you can play as a freaking cataquack. Like some of the characters that they're pulling out is crazy. Like I never thought I wanted to play as a bonefish, but now I'm gonna. I never thought I wanted to play as a dolphin, but now I'm gonna. Like, and the fact that they're adding like open world sections and adding so much new stuff that you just wouldn't have thought about with the previous games is showing how they still want to make sure they're pushing the franchise forward, and it looks so good, dude. And everybody is so expressive.
Dude, I think that'll be a running theme as we talk about some other games. But, like, I think the model changes starting with Wonder were preparing us for Switch 2.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah. Now, Elijah. How many characters do you think were discovered in that trailer?
I don't know the number, but it's gotta be like 30 or something.
What if I told you that the Nintendo sleuths have discovered every character so far, and there's been word that this isn't the final roster?
What?
And that they
How many characters have they found?
50.
What? It's not final?
Do you want me to read off the list?
Yes.
Here is all 50 members. I'm going to give you a little pause to react.
Okay.
The first 4 characters are using a variation of their Mario Wonder design. Peach, Mario, Luigi, Daisy.
Yeah, if those weren't in here, I'd be pissed.
Rosalina has a redesign based off the Mario Wonder art style.
She looks so good, dude.
Toad has his Mario Wonder redesign. Strangely, Yoshi was not redesigned. Not using the Mario Wonder redesign.
Yeah.
Wario and Waluigi. Mario Wonder redesign. Donkey Kong and Bowser have new redesigns that haven't been in a game before.
Yes.
Toadette has a redesign. Mario Wonder Koopa Troopa. The four main Mario-esque characters that people default to. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, they got their babies.
Yep, they in fact were children at one point.
Birdo.
Yep.
Series newcomer. How is he legally allowed to drive? Goomba.
He doesn't have hands. He doesn't have hands.
With his Luigi's Mansion 3 design, King Boo.
Oh, King Boo looks so good.
Pauline.
His face looks so nice. I love his face.
Pauline with the new Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake design.
Ooh, fancy.
Dry Bones.
Dry Bones.
Princess
I love Dry Bones.
Princess Rosalina.
Yeah.
Baby Bowser, or not Baby Bowser, Bowser Jr. But Bowser Jr., one of the costumes is a Boy Scout design.
That's hilarious.
Shy Guy.
Yeah, Shy Guy. I love Shy Guy.
Making his first appearance outside of tour. Nabbit.
Wait, no, that's not true. He's an 8.
Is he an 8? Oh yeah, he's an 8 Deluxe with DLC. That's right. All that. Returning from 7, and I think maybe Mario Kart 8 DLC. Lakitu.
Lakitu wasn't DLC, it was just base game.
Oh yeah, okay. Charge and Chuck from Tour.
Charge and Chuck.
Wiggler.
I've always wanted to play as CTE.
Wiggler.
Oh, back from Mario Kart 7 and 8.
Here's all of the weirdest new characters ever.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
From Mario 3D World, that weird ostrich guy from the desert level.
Okay.
From Mario 3D Land and 3D World, the little colorful beetle guys.
Oh, yeah. The guy, his cart is also in the game.
Yes.
You can play as him driving him.
Correct. From Mario Galaxy, Mario 3D Land, and Mario 3D World, the coin spitter, the little green guy with a little yellow lips that you stomp on and he spits out coins.
I have always wanted to play as something that vomits gold.
Spike.
Yeah, that's honestly,
Given.
I don't know what took them so long with Spike.
Number 2 on the why are they allowed to drive list. Cheep.
He a fish. How is he driving? He's a fish.
How is he breathing?
He's a fish.
How
is he doing anything?
From Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy, Penguin.
It's just an animal at this point. It's just a penguin. This is not a Mario character. You can't just say that penguins are all of a sudden a Mario character. However, I will be playing as a penguin for a lot of time.
I think my personal headcanon is that it's the penguin that you had to return to the mom in Mario 64.
The one that half the people just threw off a cliff.
And that's why it'll be my rival, and I will shoot a red shell on sight.
It's on site. All of my green shell snipes are going to be on the penguin.
Next up, number 3 on the list? Piranha Plant.
Oh, he's got leaves. He can drive. Oh,
but you
have eyes though.
You can't debate number 4.
Yeah.
The snowman in the portrait of the ice level of Mario 64.
He has arms. He has eyes.
He
has face.
If you notice the trailer though, the stick hands aren't controlling the cart.
He's just, we don't know which of the Mario characters have psychic abilities, and maybe a random snowman that we didn't know was sentient until this trailer is one of them.
The Monty Mole in the airship levels that throws the wrench.
Frenchy Mole.
Specifically that one.
Yeah, it has to be specifically that one.
The dolphin from Mario World and of Dolphin Shoals.
Again, Mario, you can't just say an animal is a Mario character. It's just a dolphin. Also, how does it drive?
Speaking of things of how does it drive, dry fish.
He's just bones. He's just bones.
Added to the list.
How is Bones drive? How is Bones drive? Like, I understand dry bones, but however, this is bone fish, and those can't drive.
Pokey.
Honestly, I with Wiggler getting a spot like in 7, I'm surprised it took him this long to give Pokey a slot.
Now
It'd be such an easy model swap.
Now, forgive my lack of knowledge on what this specific enemy is called, because if it's not a Boo, I don't know the name. But specifically the flying ghosts from like New Super Mario Bros. That aren't Boo, that like fly in the circle.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking. I think those are also Boos.
They're not called Boos. They are classified as something else. I heard it on a podcast today. Don't remember the name. Should have wrote it down.
Yeah.
Sidesteppers, little crabs that sidestep.
Oh. Why? Why? Why?
My new main. Moo Moo.
Oh, yes, that's such a good one. Again, just a cow, Mario.
It's just a cow. I think that is the most inspired.
What you're doing.
I think it's the
See what you're doing here, Mario. You think you can call the cow a different name, and I won't catch on. It's just a cow.
My new main, Moo Moo. Most inspired choice. Least inspired choice. The bee from Mario Wonder.
No, I think because that's also from 3D World, so like it's fine.
Piantas.
That took them way too long. Those should have been in Double Dash.
The funny thing is that they are in Double Dash, but just not playable.
Yeah, those should have been playable from Double Dash
and
in Wii, and then they would have gone on hiatus after Wii. But still,
Swooper
is a bat. That's just a bat.
Number 2 op. Cataquack.
I like Cataquacks. I don't know.
You haven't played that part of Sunshine yet.
No, I haven't. But I played a lot of Mario Kart Wii growing up, and they're in Peach Beach, and they actually, now that I think about it, I really don't like them because they would just throw me all the time, and it was annoying.
On site. Those are all 50 of the characters so far in the game. So far.
I'm noticing a glaring couple of omissions.
Please enlighten me.
Diddy Kong.
Yep.
And Funky Kong.
Yep. Or any of the other Kongs.
Give me Dixie Kong.
I wonder.
Give me Donkey Kong Jr.
I wonder if they're holding off until the game actually launched to show them off, because they don't want to show off the models for those characters specifically, because they will show up in some way in the last game we will talk about in this podcast.
Yeah, in that game.
I don't
know why Funky Kong would be like. I feel like you can show off at least the Funky Kong design, because he's more of a Mario Kart character than he is a Donkey Kong character at this point.
How much Donkey Kong have you played, my friend?
Not enough.
Not enough. He's in every rare Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, but he's in Mario Kart Wii.
Okay, shut up. Anywho. But Mario Kart is open world.
Yeah.
How we feel about that?
What?
How we feeling about that?
I'm excited. I'm very excited about that, actually.
Have you ever played any of the Forza or Forza Horizon games?
I have not, no.
After looking at the gameplay reveal multiple times, I'm like, oh, this is just Mario Kart Forza. Like, straight up. And, like, even the new modes are just Forza modes.
Yeah.
Uh, First things first, every track, every single cup, all of the cups are localized next to each other. So, Mushroom Cup, all 4 tracks are kind of near each other.
Oh, that's really cool.
Flower Cup, all 4 tracks kind of are next to each other, right? The interesting part is that you can create your own cups now with unique pathing
Oh,
based
that's awesome.
so you can literally make it so that you go from one corner of the map to the other, and part of the race, even without the new mode, includes the off-road stuff on the way to the next course.
That's awesome.
I
I
think that's
am totally
sick.
going to make the most annoying Grand Prix of all time, where you have to drive like diagonal to the bottom left corner and then drive up to the top middle, then go back down to the bottom middle. I'm gonna I'm gonna torture some people with that.
It's gonna be so fun though. It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be so.
so fun. Knockout mode.
Oh, that looks so fun, dude.
Dude, can you imagine? They just said we're gonna also do battle royale.
Yeah, they're like, hey, just to add to this open world Mario Kart game that looks absolutely incredible. We're giving you a mode where if you start doing bad, then you just lose.
I think one of the most
And you
interesting
suck.
things about that is that because off-roading is such a huge part of this game,
Uh-huh.
the amount of what kind of you you more so than me
Yeah.
love your skips.
Oh, I love skips.
What
Skips are the best part.
what skips are we about to discover?
Bro, it's gonna be crazy. Like looking at looking at how off-road they were going and losing no speed at all. This game's gonna be broken within like a week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You and I are about to be exploring the world to find the dumbest of shortcuts.
Oh, 100%. And then
Uh
we're gonna look it up online, and somebody's just gonna have found like a out of bounds skip that you drive around like a I don't know a rock in a certain pattern, and then you beat Grumble Volcano in 16 seconds.
so here's something interesting as I'm like scrolling through the trailer, right? A
Yeah,
lot of the foundation for the regular driving mechanics. This feels like the third in a trilogy starting with Mario Kart 7, right?
yeah,
We have this trilogy of console Mario Kart games, or not console, I'm non-phone games, because Nintendo likes to pretend Tour is a mainline game.
yeah. It's not.
It's not. That started off this trend of gliders, underwater, land,
Yeah,
and we added a fourth in the last game, which wasn't really a fourth, but also kind of a fourth: zero gravity.
yeah. It's basically they just didn't want to follow physics even remotely.
However, do we think anti gravity's still in the game?
I don't think so.
I have I have a theory. One of the tracks in the trailer looks like Mario Circuit from Mario Kart 8.
Hmm.
And it's around Princess Peach's castle.
Yeah.
I think certain tracks will have their anti-gravity and certain tracks because of the new design won't. And I think we won't get
Uh
any new tracks with anti-gravity, but we will get returning stages if they had anti-gravity sections.
huh.
They will have it.
Oh, we do. Okay.
So like scroll through the trailer a little bit, you'll see area where they're going around Princess Peach's castle, and you can see the figure eight
Oh,
loop going around the castle.
they are breaking some traditions with this. Actually, I'm looking at They show off a couple of the track lists of the cups.
Yep.
Flower Cup is a retro cup.
Yep.
It's Desert Hills, Shy Guy Bazaar, Wario Stadium, and Airship Fortress.
Yeah. But we get to see them in context of the world they're in.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
Okay, Mushroom Cup, Mario Bros. Circuit, Crown City, Whistle Stop Summit, and DK Spaceport.
DK Space, what?
Bro.
That's
DK
awesome!
Spaceport. The thumbnail is giant Robo Donkey Kong.
Oh, this is gonna be so peak.
It's gonna be so good, dude.
It's gonna be so peak.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we also have a view of Star Cup. We have DK Pass,
Okay. Oh, DK
Starview
Pass!
Peak, Sky High Sunday, and Wario Shipyard.
So not honestly, hold on. I think DK Pass are all of those returning? Because DK Pass is returning.
DK, I think you're thinking of DK Summit.
No, DK Pass is DS.
Oh, really?
DK Pass is
Oh
DS.
yeah, DK Pass. DK Pass. I forgot about that one. Where's Starview Peak from?
I don't think that the cups necessarily mean that they are fully a retro cup or not.
Yeah, that's Starview Peak is clearly based off Galaxy though.
Yeah, but it's like the main Galaxy level. It was an 8. Like it was an 8 and 7, and 7's was Rainbow Road.
Yeah, and then eights was the
Cloud
Sky
Top.
one. Yeah, Cloud Top Cruise.
Yeah, Cloud Top.
Okay, we got Koopa Troopa Beach, Fairway Oasis, Crown City again. So there's multiple tracks that are Crown City, and Peach Stadium. Yeah, I don't think they do retro cups anymore. They just have retro tracks.
I'm so curious to what the DLC is going to look like for this. Are we just going to get a new island? Are land
Maybe.
masses going to just come in and just attach themselves?
Suddenly, a boulder.
Wait, actually, hold on. I have a theory. I have a theory. You ready for this? Lock it in, ladies and gents. The Wonder Flower is just going to spawn a new area.
Permanent Wonder Flower.
Permanent Wonder Flower. Yeah, dude, Grand Prix looks sick. Knockout mode, where if you don't meet a certain criteria for placement, you get knocked out of the Grand Prix. Super
That's
interesting.
crazy. Bro,
Free roam with friends?
there's at least as many tracks in this game as like original, like there's more tracks than original Mario Kart 8 with DLC.
Yeah.
They've already shown off 16 16 cups.
Yeah, dang. We're getting 50 characters at launch, which is already more than DLC Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's insane, dude.
And knowing how well DLC did, they're gonna do DLC again.
Wait a minute. Where's Special Cup?
What if dude, oh, big brain, big brain, big brain. Rainbow Bridge to the Sky, a special world style area of the map in the sky.
Oh,
Big
dude.
brain. Big brain theory right now. I'm calling my shot right now. Special Cup is going to be Rainbow Road in space. You get a whole Rainbow Road themed cup in space. I'm calling it right now. I am calling my shot right now.
Okay. I am looking closer at the trailer right now for just other things. We do have the same, I believe, same item system as 8 Deluxe.
Yes, I was going to say that. It is the same item system. However, there are some items that are returning that haven't been in a game for a minute, like the Mega Mushroom.
Yeah, we got Mega Mushroom. I think some other items I've seen is coin. So we have coins back.
The coin
again.
system is back.
I've seen Super Horn. Obviously, green shell, red shell, mushrooms, triple shells.
Yep.
I've seen all of that. But I think I haven't really been looking too closely at the items.
I think the item system, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just iterating on 8's item system, but then bringing back fan favorites.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked. I think 8's items...
The Mega Mushroom is definitely a fan favorite, even though it's just a worse star.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, the item system for 8 is the most balanced item system out of all the Mario Karts. Doesn't mean it's my favorite, but it's the most balanced.
I would say that having a more balanced item system is not great for Mario Kart. I'd rather feel like I got screwed over by the items in Mario Kart.
I'm so glad we feel the same exact way. I am so glad we feel the same exact way.
Like, it doesn't feel like Mario Kart if I can't get Mario Karted.
Yes, correct.
Like, I
I
always want that nagging feeling in the back of my mind that I'm just going to get hit by 17 items and end up losing.
Yes, at any given
That
moment.
never happens to me because I'm too far ahead. But, I want it to feel like it can.
Here's the crazy part. There's also environmental things that act like other items. Like that pickup truck or the semi that acts like the bullet bill.
Oh, yeah. I saw... Oh,
What
hold on.
what
How does that
other
work?
environmental stuff are we going to be able to interact? Like there's wall jumping with carts?
Yeah, there was wall, like, it's more akin to, like, wall running, almost.
Yeah, wall running and like rail grinding. Also, the way the vehicles transform in this game, I'm way more of a fan of it turns into a plane than having a stupid glider.
Yeah, the glider, I feel like it just obscured your vision, because it would come up on top of the car.
But also,
Instead of just throwing wings on the side that keep, like, a lower profile.
but also,
Also, the bike that the Moo is driving
yes,
is a radio.
is a
And I
radio.
love it so much.
But also, they get snow treads and skis.
Yeah. And there's one point where Daisy's driving a cart that's shaped like a jet ski, and it turns into a jet ski as soon as she touches water.
Yeah, dude, that's what the heck? It's so crazy.
I want to know what's going on with the burgers that they're eating. The like changing costumes. I want to know how that works.
Is it burgers or is it Wonder Flowers? 'Cause
Let me see.
it's the Wonder Flower effect.
It is. No, it's definitely a burger.
What is up with is that? Do you just find burgers throughout the world and it gets you new costumes and you can just happen to
Yeah.
automatically change into it?
Hold up. Peach just tricked twice in the air.
Did you, what timestamp? Timestamp me.
Let me get back to it.
That's fair.
It is around exactly the 2-minute mark.
Holy crap, she did!
What,
Dang!
What does that? Oh, Yoshi does it too. Later. At the end of the first trailer for Mario Kart, because there is two. They interrupt it, but there is two separate trailers for Mario Kart World.
Yeah, that's true. What is going? I think Kamek's an item.
Which, it's crazy because he got his spot in the DLC most recently, and
Yeah.
they're going to take it away from him immediately. No more racer.
I'm fine with that. Give us, instead of Kamek, give us the boss purple Kamek from Mario Galaxy for no reason.
I mean, oh, you know who else is missing? Honey Queen. Where's Honey Queen?
You know who else is missing? All of the Koopalings.
I wouldn't say I mean, so
They're-
saying they're missing implies that I'm gonna miss them.
One of my favorite memes from when Mario Kart 8 got announced. During the original Mario Kart 8 like Wii U Direct, they were like, we're announcing a bunch of new characters. We're announcing, and then they announced baby Rosalina and baby Daisy for the first time in the franchise. Or not baby Daisy.
Maybe Daisy was in Wii.
Yeah, but like baby Rosalina for the first time, and then all the Koopalings, and then Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach. And then the meme afterwards were, introducing Metal Mario, Rose Gold Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby Rosalina, the Koopalings, and now DLC with the Baby Koopalings, the Metal Koopalings, and the Baby Metal Koopalings. I'm so glad they're gone.
That Baby Pink Gold Peach does exist.
Yeah, she does exist. Yes, correct.
So they're not far off.
But that was after that video.
Yeah.
That was after that video. It's insane. I would rather have
reminds
them.
me of the Scott the Woz retrospective of all the Mario Karts, where he's like, "Oh, imagine if this character select screen was your brain. Dang, 8 tumors."
Dude, I mean, it's only a matter of time if they show up, or are we finally out of the let's pander to Mario 3 era of Mario.
I think we're in the Let's Pander to Mario world area of Mario, if anything.
No, because Mario Wonder is an homage to Mario 3 and Mario World without directly ripping it off mechanics and items from them.
Yeah, it's like it takes the spirit of both those
Yeah.
games, and it has like certain enemies and certain obstacles from those games, but it does its own thing.
Yeah, I think the trend moving forward, and I will keep iterating this every time it happens in the direct as we talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Mario Wonder and Mario Odyssey are the template moving forward.
Oh, 100%.
The next generation of main cast Mario mainline for 2D and 3D is Odyssey and Wonder now. We have moved past the age of New Super Mario Bros.
Thank God.
For real.
I am so sick of the new soup plasticky art style.
Like, it was cool. It was cool for the DS. Like, the DS, it was like the first 2D Mario, first original 2D Mario in like I think a decade when that game released.
Yeah, and it was super charming.
Right? And then like Wii was fun, but you're like, oh, this looks a little off. And then all of a sudden we got 2 games within 6 months of each other, and we're like, okay, this is old. Like, and I love New Super Mario Bros. U and Luigi U, but the art style in those games, outside of the levels that intentionally changed the art style, looks ugly.
Yeah. Like the Starry Night homage.
Oh, yeah.
Level is so good looking.
And it's like, we could have...
another confirmed item is Lightning.
Okay. Okay. Oh, no. I just hate Lightning. But also, I'm glad it's in the game.
Yeah, it should be in the game.
Yeah, I just hate being hit by it. But, you know.
But it's so fun to shock dodge, though.
That's so fair. You're so right, though. You're so right, though. But, dude, yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say about this game, and we spent 30 minutes on it.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I could say more, but, you know, we got to move on.
Well, actually,
we got to move on at some point.
Let's just talk about the elephant in the room.
Which one?
If you do not get it in the bundle,
$80.
Digitally, this game costs $80. Physically, this game costs $90.
So the best, like the most responsible way to buy this game is to buy it bundled in with your Switch at a price point of $500. That is the price of launch PS5.
Now, hold on. I think I'm gonna confirm the price because I'm pretty sure the base is $400 and the bundle is $450. But if I'm wrong right now, what I'm about to say, I'm going to emphasize it even more.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch with the Mario Kart bundle. Yep, you're right. God. Oh no. All right. All right.
A little bit outrageous.
I'm going to say something. There's layers to this. The Japanese version of the Switch, the Japanese exclusive version of the Switch, that is region locked specifically because we in the US are in the middle of a little thing called the trade war.
Yep.
And tariffs are a thing.
100%.
Nintendo tried to avoid the tariffs by moving Switch production out of China into Vietnam, but our government still tariffed Vietnam.
Yeah.
The base price for the bundle in Japan is $350.
Dang.
On one hand, we can blame tariffs. But I'm a Nintendo fan. For better...
Nintendo would have done this anyway.
Nintendo would have done this anyway.
They just are like, the tariffs are what did it. Or but if the tariffs didn't exist, they would have just found another excuse to be like, well, the PS5 was $500, and we're newer than the PS5, and so $500.
Because the second the trade war ends, we know for sure Nintendo's not dropping crap until year 3 of the Switch 2.
Yeah, there's
If
price drops
that
is not in Nintendo's vocabulary.
If that. If year
Unless
3.
their console is failing, they will not drop the price.
Well, here's the thing. They probably won't drop the price because guess what? Ooh, I'm going to talk about this. We'll skip voice chat for now because the number one thing that boggles my mind, there's so much about this presentation and so much about the information with the Switch 2 that I love.
100%.
Why in the world is the Nintendo Switch 2 tour video game not free with the console? Why? Why do you have to pay for it?
Bro, you can get the same experience by watching just somebody else play it.
Not only that. You look at Astro's Playroom. What does that game do? It shows all of the new features of the PS5.
And is also a very charming, very good 3D platformer.
Which then spun off into its own franchise.
Game of the year, baby!
Not true. Technically, Astro's Playroom was the first one, or the Astro VR was the first one. But, yeah. Semantics. No one played that except for me. So, here we are. Even the Steam Deck, a comparable style console, even the Steam Deck has its own free pack-in software game that shows off everything the Steam Deck can do, gets you used to controls, OS, all of that.
Yeah.
If I have to pay $80, $50 to $80 for Mario Kart, why are the tech demos locked behind a paywall? I don't want to pay for tech. Nintendo during the Wii U knew this because all of the Wii U tech demos ended up being add-in modes for other video games to entice you to buy the video game or turned into Labo.
Or was Nintendo Land?
No,
Which
I'm not.
Was a pack-in for a lot.
I'm not even talking about Nintendo Land. Even before Nintendo Land was revealed, Robot from Labo was a Wii U game. The Star Fox Zero pack-in Slippy Tower Defense game was a Wii U tech demo at the E3 that the Wii U was first shown off.
Yeah.
And
they give us a dude walking on the Switch 2.
And then you can play golf with a mouse and some other tech demos.
Yeah. And honestly, that golf gameplay looked really bad.
Yes. And it's a tech demo. It's not supposed to be the most polished thing, but it's also not the most polished thing. Why am I paying for it?
Yeah, it's a tech demo. It's not supposed to be polished, and it's not supposed to be paid. It's supposed to tell you, hey, your system can do this. Anyway, go have fun with the stuff you paid for.
Weird decision number 2. Are you ready?
Yep.
We are not getting the game that shows off the mouse controls until mid-summer, a few months after the system has launched. We are not getting, what's it called? Something in Dive.
Dash and Dive?
Dash and Dive. We're not getting Dash and Dive until after most likely Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Why?
That game, I see so many people, like, as I'm scrolling through TikTok and looking through socials, think that game looks so fun. But
It looks so fun.
if it's a $70 game, and no, no.
It's not a $70 game. It doesn't look like a $70 game.
But Nintendo, we say that about Nintendo games all the time, and yet they still push it.
I don't. But this isn't even an established franchise. Like they for
Arms,
like. That's so true.
arms,
That's so true.
and they
And I
had,
did buy that.
and they have a DLC pass.
Arms has DLC.
Yeah, at least I remember it's either DLC pass or they had free characters, or one or the other. Dash and Dive outside of that looks so charming.
Yeah, it does. It looks like they made a 3-on-3 basketball game where you're playing wheelchair basketball, and then just outside of the basketball court there's a skate park.
Sick.
It's sick. It's a great concept. Like it's awesome, but like why
is it not a launch pack-in title?
why is it not on launch, and why is it going to be too much? Why is it going to be so expensive?
I did not have enough time to do this today. But if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming you're a nerd like us. Straight up.
Yeah, if you got this far, you are either a psychopath or a nerd.
Or you're from the night shift. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
In Reggie Fils-Aimé's autobiography, his business memoir, he talked about an argument that he and Nintendo of Japan had that ultimately led to them doing an experiment. Did you know, for the Wii's launch, the US had Wii Sports as a pack-in title, and in Japan, it did not?
Really?
Do you know in Japan, the end result was it sold about at the same pace as every other Nintendo console did in Japan.
Uh-huh.
In the US, I don't think if you remember the Wii's launch, Elijah.
People were buying the Wii, not because they wanted to, but because it was like the thing to buy.
Dude,
because of Wii Sports.
I don't know how my family and my brother, specifically my brother Tyler, got a launch Wii. I have no idea how, but I remember all of my friends were begging to come over because no one could get one.
I also got a launch Wii because of my dad's best friend worked at Nintendo for a very, very long time.
That's valid, right? But
yeah,
what's the lesson here? What's the lesson here? A pack-in title that shows off what makes the console special will always in a fun way will always boost sales.
Yeah, 100%. If it's like you can't always expect it to be Wii Sports, obviously, because like you can't just be pumping out new Wii Sports after new Wii Sports and expect it to do that. But like having a good pack-in,
but like
gives them something to do out the box.
Let's look at Nintendo's history, though, right? We look at the NES. You get Duck Hunt combo with Super Mario Bros. Right?
Probably the greatest pack-in title of all time.
Right? Well, no, because the greatest pack-in title, Super Mario World.
That's true.
Arguably not the best pack-in title, Tetris. Tetris is probably the best pack-in title outside of Wii Sports.
Oh yeah.
Right? DS was the start of it like declining a little bit, but like you still got a pack-in game. You got the demo version and multiplayer for the Metroid Prime Hunters.
Yeah, I have that cart.
Like that's a amazing thing, right? I don't remember what I remember for Game Boy Advance. You got to choose what game it came with, so it was a couple of different options. You got to pick like either from a handful of different options, right? And also, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance also lived and died off of pack-in titles, specifically with Pokemon. Like,
oh yeah, Pokemon was crazy.
right?
It still is crazy, but especially Gen 1.
Yeah, especially
Crazy.
Gen 1 and Gen 2, like collector's editions, like they lived and died off of that, right?
Oh yeah,
GameCube, no packing title. It had games at launch. GameCube, famous for not selling well but having a great library.
100%. Yeah.
Did not have the killer app they wanted for launch. Wii, one of the best packing titles ever. Wii U had a good one, but also marketing for the Wii U sucked.
Yeah, and
Three,
I actually never got the pack and title that was supposed to be with the Wii U. I ended up with Super Mario Bros. U instead.
and I ended up with Mario Kart 8. So, and
I am
you
probably the only Wii U owner that does not own Mario Kart 8 or Splatoon.
that's wild to think about. Here's the crazy part: the Wii U bundle for Mario Kart 8 worked for me as a pack-in title.
Crazy.
The 3DS, no pack-in title. They had AR games, and then you could buy around launch, not exactly at launch, some of the N64 remakes, but not all of the N64 remakes.
Yeah, and notoriously, the 3DS didn't start to actually sell well until it's got a price cut, a 3D Mario, and a Mario Kart.
Which also, if you look at the Reggie memoir, who was the one who recommended that the 3DS wasn't priced as high as it was? Reggie.
Reggie.
They didn't listen to him, and then he was the one who did the ambassador program plan that saved the 3DS.
Yeah, it's like they need to actually learn from what's doing well and what's not. Otherwise, they're just going to keep repeating having a massive, massive console like the Wii or the Switch, and then following it up with a disappointment.
And I don't think the Switch is going to, the Switch 2 is going to be a disappointment. However,
I'm not saying it's going to be like the next Wii U, but I still don't think it's going to do as well as the Switch 1.
I think if we're talking just pure sales numbers, the Switch is the DS, the Switch 2 is the 3DS. The Switch 2 is going to do very well for itself, but it's never going to reach the numbers the Switch 1 has until it has enough killer apps and it drops a price point to a point where it's actually affordable.
100%.
And I think
like, we all know that the diehard Nintendo fans are going to buy it day one, no matter what. I'm gonna buy it day one.
I will most likely buy it day one. We'll see.
I want to get my hands on that Mario Kart game as soon as possible.
Yeah,
so
but I know I
probably will pre-order it as soon as pre-orders are open.
Well, okay, let's talk about that real quick. Elijah, how do pre-orders work for this?
I don't know.
Elijah, you can either pre-order it on the 9th through regular retailers.
Uh-huh.
Or, starting today, if you go on Nintendo's website, if you want it directly from them and want to avoid scalpers, if you have more than 50 hours played on your Nintendo Switch, and if you're a Nintendo Switch online user, you have the potential and the possibility to get a letter that allows you to pre-order, or an email that allows you to pre-order from Nintendo Direct. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah, but I definitely have those qualifications on 2 separate Switches.
Yeah. But most people don't. And it's I don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, it's a great way to avoid scalpers for the hardcore fans. On the other, poor parents trying to buy this for their kids.
Yeah.
Poor parents.
Because if you really, really think about that for a second, Nintendo is just being the scalper.
Yes, at that point.
They're just scalping it themselves for their diehard fans.
Heck, the base price for the Switch feels like scalping prices. Or Switch 2 feels
100%. This feels like, oh, I guess I can't get it from Nintendo, so I guess I have to settle for getting it for a higher price.
Yeah. So, I think those are all my negative things about price point. We do know that Mario Kart 8 is the highest one. Like, Donkey Kong is going for 70 digital, 80 physical. I think Nintendo is trying to kill their physical business because... Yeah. I know we're jumping around a little bit, but we can start talking about the rest of the hardware stuff before we start talking about games.
Yeah.
1. Infinitely bigger internal storage.
Yes.
instead of the 32 gigs, we get 250 gigs, which for other consoles doesn't sound like a lot, but Nintendo is notorious and famous for being kings of compressing their files.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've had a 258 gigabyte micro SD in my Switch.
Oh yeah, same
since I got it.
Yeah.
And I've never had problems with storage space.
I've never had storage problems with my Switch, and I've had the same one. So it's like great. It sucks that we have to upgrade to Express SD cards.
Yeah, but like I want to keep my micro SD in my original Switch anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal.
The only problem is that with Express is not super new. It's still around. The technology is still about 3 years old. It's the SD card equivalent of an SSD.
Yeah.
A terabyte one, which is most likely going to be compatible with the Switch, is also $200.
Ooh.
And I know this because of camera and like graphic working things. It's like if you want to have one, it's $200 for a terabyte. You don't need a terabyte because there's so much internal storage, but if you want an SSD like storage system to just put all your cards in, your like digital game cards, whatever they're calling it now, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to want that terabyte. And so if you're looking at all of the accessories plus that, if at launch you want to have the Nintendo Switch 2 with Mario Kart, the carrying case that's from Nintendo with the screen protector, the dock case and Joy-Con grip holder case that is provided by Nintendo, an extra pair of Joy-Cons with Joy-Con straps, with grip included, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you want the camera on top of that, and you also want to get yourself a new SSD Express that's 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
Elijah, how much is all of that going to cost for the consumer?
Oh, over $1,000, easy.
$1,200.
And then put on top of that the Pro controller.
Yeah. Pro. I think that price I just said includes Pro controller.
Yeah.
So
but
it's
like, also one weird thing with the pricing is the Pro controller is just cheaper than the Joy-Cons. Like genuinely just cheaper.
I think there's a reason why. One of the things that's inside the Direct is, well, they don't have to worry about mouse for that, and they don't have to worry about magnets.
Yeah.
Which,
so if you do need extra controllers for your Switch 2 for like multiplayer and stuff like that, just buy a Pro controller at that point.
Or they have confirmed for most games that don't use any Joy-Con 2 features, your Joy-Con runs will still work.
Is that also with like old Pro controller and stuff like that?
Yep. It all still works if you are not using any of the new features. They have confirmed that because only one Switch game is not backwards compatible fully.
Is it 1-2 Switch?
No, it is because you can still plug in you can still use your old Joy-Con, so 1-2 Switch actually works.
Oh yeah.
Ring Fit
Really?
still works. It's Labo VR because the Switch won't fit inside the Labo VR.
That's hilarious.
But they confirmed that all of the first-party games, with the exception of Ring Fit Adventure, will work at launch and run. Ring Fit Adventure will have some issues, but is mostly compatible. And then they have a list of games from their partners on their website that they are actively working with them to fix and have some patches to things so that it actively works on Switch 2.
That's awesome.
So there'll be like a handful, like me, like I won't be able to fully run. For some reason, there's an optimization issue on my Mega Man Battle Network collection. But like, I'm not running to the Switch 2 to play my Mega Man Battle Network collection.
I've been waiting for years to play Mega Man.
Like, one, I've already beat those games, and two, it's like I'm playing it so I can play.
How am I supposed to play Battle Network if I can't do it on the 120 FPS screen?
Even though the game is only 30. Oh. Right?
I have to know the screen is capable, okay?
But it's like, I'm not in a rush to do that. I'm not in a rush to play One of the podcasts I did, it was like, even though I actually think this game is good for what it is, if you know, you know. One of the podcasts I listened to today goes, "Oh God, I can't play Steven Universe Fight the Light at launch. Oh no!" Even though that game is a Paper Mario clone, it's really good.
Yeah, so see, if you're complaining that you can't play games on your Switch 2 at launch, that means you can already play them on your Switch 1. So just keep playing them there until they're optimized.
Crazy, right? But like some people want to trade in, and like GameStop announced their trade-in program, and it's a GameStop trade-in program. Yep. Let's talk about the last bad feature before I start talking about everything else about this direct that was freaking awesome. An hour and 20 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah, we'll get positive eventually.
What's going on with game chat?
Bro, it's like they saw Discord and they're like, "Hey, what if we made it worse?"
What if we made it worse?
And then they did.
And we had the worst bit rate you could possibly have.
And these are the clips they chose to show off. You have to assume these are the clips where it looks the best.
I mean, there's some... Okay, I will give them credit. There is some impressive technology inside of the camera, right?
Oh, 100%.
The fact that it has... They have background removal, all of those features built into it. The problem is... We don't know if if it's hardware or software based that's doing that. And if the camera's just that bad for a $50 camera to be running at 10 frames a second.
Well, the games are also running at 10 frames per second, and it's not like it's just the Mario Kart World gameplay. They showed a freaking NES game running at 10 frames per second. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for it ever to look that bad when you're streaming an NES game.
I understand why Nintendo did this. Nintendo has been getting drilled in by the greater gaming community and their own fan base for not having an integrated chat system. And Xbox is behind the curve on this, and so was Sony on updating theirs for the modern age, but instead of doing that, they have their own infrastructure, but they also integrated Discord into their services, right?
Which is the correct move. Most people use Discord.
Nintendo said, what if we did crap your Discord on our own?
Yeah. And so, it does technically solve the problem. However, the way it looks is just another problem. You can't solve a problem by just making it not a problem, but having several other problems come along because you solved the first problem.
Listen, we're in our 20s. Both of us don't have kids. But yeah. I've worked with families and children in a good capacity in my life, right? Yeah. I see a world where this feature is perfect for theoretical Martha and Bob and their son, Little Timmy. Little Timmy's 10 years old. They don't want him to have a Discord account. They want to use parental controls to control and see who their friends are talking about. This whole system's integrated with, the Nintendo Switch parental controls, which work a little too well, as you personally know.
Yeah.
Work a little too well, to the point where a lot of people are locked out of their accounts. Right?
Including me.
And it is perfect for, Cameron's in the chat. For Johanna, his sister. Right?
Yeah.
It's perfect for her. Parents can look over, see who she's talking to, see what games she's been playing with people, can make a select group of people she can talk and hang out with online. Boom. Done. Easy.
Yeah.
Why in the world would you and I use it?
Yeah, that's not how it's advertised. It's advertised as, a bunch of adults having fun using it.
Yeah, exactly.
If they advertise it as, hey, this is child-friendly Discord, then that's great.
They partially did that, but they also advertised it as, this is going to revolutionize the way we play games, guys, as the rest of us have been doing this actively for 10 years.
Also, I this was a point I saw on a video that I watched about the direct. I don't know anybody personally who plays games with their friends with their camera on.
I know one person. His name's Josh.
Josh is the only person.
Josh is the only person I know who does
Josh
that.
is the only person I know who does that. I don't think it is worth it to get the Nintendo Switch camera to just gawk at yourself in Mario Party.
Here's the thing. If the quality in the Direct is indicative of the quality in the camera, they have confirmed that any USB camera works for that feature. There are Logitech cameras that look better than that camera.
I have a webcam that probably looks very comparable to that camera.
Right? It's crazy. And so, like, for the few things I might want to try, like, we'll talk about it more in detail, like the Mario Party minigames that require it.
Yeah.
That I probably will play only once or twice. Like, I can just plug in any USB camera. Like,
yeah, I could just take my Logitech webcam off of my monitor, try it out real quick because it's already USB-C. It'll work.
Yeah.
With the Switch right out the box.
Right off the box.
I can talk at myself in Mario Party for a little while, and then I'll be like, okay, I never need to get the Nintendo Switch camera.
Yeah. I
think the Nintendo Switch camera is gonna be in like 10 years. It's gonna be like, oh, remember when Nintendo released that and it just nobody bought it?
So here's my worry. Nintendo doesn't really look at outside trends and tries to innovate, that sometimes they try to innovate in an area where other companies have already failed and they just don't see that lesson happening with other companies. PlayStation tried having their own camera with the PS2 and the PS3, and everyone makes fun of them for it.
Yeah, because it was the iToy.
Nobody liked the iToy, and if you in the comments say you like the iToy, stop lying.
You're lying. Like, Xbox did have a little bit more success with the Kinect, but the Kinect wasn't just a camera. It was a controller.
But
it
like,
controlled games.
That's what this looks like too, because at the end of the day, Kinect was motion controls through a camera sensor. And what does the Mario Party game demonstrate? Motion controls through a camera sensor, right?
Well, does it demonstrate that, though? Or does it demonstrate the Joy-Cons in their hands feeling the motion and them just being on camera for it?
That's true, but also counter-argument, it might not be fully like the Kinect, but it might be like the iToy and PlayStation Move in that case.
Oh, yeah.
So, no matter what, it's still the same failed models of motion control. They're not innovating in this way. In fact, the other companies have failed in those ways. Like Kinect,
they are copying companies that copied them and failed.
And the crazy part is, like, Kinect worked for part of the Xbox generation during the Wii craze, but the Kinect was also part of the downfall of the Xbox One.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, the Kinect was successful with the Xbox 360. People still want to use motion controls, right?
Not only that, but also your Kinect always had to be on.
Yeah, why?
Like,
why? Microsoft.
Yeah. Now enough of me dunking on that, because we both agree it's just trash.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like one of the things that, like, in a Scott the Woz video, he'd bring up and be like, so this exists and nobody remembers that.
I think I'm gonna use it for my next colonoscopy.
I can't wait to see what he does with the Nintendo Switch camera. Yeah, but like, let's get into some positives.
Welcome back, DS Download Play.
Yeah.
Woo!
better DS Download Play.
Game share, like, straight up, like, you can treat it like you're both using the same game screen. Or even, like, separate POV, like, crazy. Like, game share looks freaking sweet. Like, and I think game share, not a lot, but a little bit, like, only by, a small margin, lessens the blow of the price point. And for some reason, also game lending from the last direct also lessens the blow. If I'm like, okay, games are $70 to $80 now. I got Donkey Kong, you got Mario Kart. You want to play Donkey Kong and I want to play Mario Kart for a little bit? Swap. And we can do it as friends.
Or we can just be like, hey, you want to play some Mario Kart? I know you don't have it, but like I do. You want to just split screen on our own Switches?
Yeah, for real. Or Mario Kart might be one of those games similar to Mario Kart DS where it's like, hey, you can have your POV on your screen and I have my POV on my screen. Like, this is not...
This time they're not going to force you to play a Shy Guy.
This time, yeah, this is not new territory. That's the crazy part.
No, but they did make it better.
Yes.
100% they made it better.
But
this is not new.
It's not new information. I think I'm glad they're doing it. Weird Nintendo decision number 4. Why is Clubhouse Games 51 the only game at launch that has it?
Because it's Clubhouse Games. What do you mean?
Who owns that?
Scott the Woz.
You're so right. Scott's gonna have a great time.
Oh yeah.
Other hardware things. Number 1, bigger screen, 13.9 millimeters, bigger.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? Almost double the size of the original Switch screen, but still the same amount of bezel somehow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, they're clearly, like, judging from the bezels of the Switch and the OLED Switch, they're clearly planning the revision already, and they're just gonna make the bezels smaller.
And I can't wait to spend another $5 million in 4 years.
Yeah, no, 100% I'm gonna buy that, but like, y'all don't buy that.
Don't do as we say, not as we do.
Unless they make it more powerful, do not buy the OLED Nintendo Switch 2. Unless they like unless the reason isn't just, oh, it's an OLED screen.
Now, for the first time, up to 120 FPS on the handheld screen.
That is just blatantly a good improvement. That's just an improvement.
Downgrade, it's an HDR LCD, not an HDR LCD OLED.
Yes.
However, the comparison of HDR on versus HDR off still is impressive.
Oh yeah, it was night and day in the shot that they showed.
The SL and SR buttons are bigger and are metallic
and
magnetic. Those are metal buttons.
Yeah. Which is again just an improvement off the original.
Mouse controls, which is a good thing. I will get into the games I'm excited for as we go through each individual game.
Yes, I know exactly which game you're excited for specifically.
Yep.
With mouse controls.
3D audio, noise canceling built into the sound system for the mic, if you ever do want to use the voice chat. Top USB-C to plug in devices and a charge through port. 256 internal storage, which is 8 times the storage, and then HDR compatibility on big screen. However, 2160p is locked to 60 FPS.
Which, honestly, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
But if you go to 1440p...
4K being locked to 60 FPS does make sense.
Yes. Fan built in to the system. I mean, built into the stock.
Yeah, smart. Super smart.
Question.
Because I know a lot of people had problems with their Switches overheating in the dock.
Question. They didn't outright say this, and I'm assuming it's not in it. But did they take away the Ethernet port?
No, it is there.
Thank God.
They don't explicitly say it. However, I've been watching the Direct this entire time, and I do remember seeing a shot of the dock with the Ethernet port. I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so timestamp 1648, they show AC adapter, HDMI out, LAN are the 3 ports.
Amazing. Thank
And
God.
the AC adapter is USB-C.
Nice.
So it's the same setup as OLED Switch.
Amazing. Fantastic. We already talked about
a lot more ventilation at the bottom of the dock as well.
And also, I personally like the design of the new dock too. It looks smooth.
Oh, yeah. The rounded corners, it being just a lot more rounded in general, looks really good.
It looks sick. We already talked about Dumb Tech demo game. Carts are red now.
Yeah.
Elijah, how disgusting will the carts taste?
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to find out. But you know what the first thing I did when I got my copy of Breath of the Wild was?
Well, did you lick it?
The first game I got. I popped the whole thing into my mouth.
Oh, we already talked about the SD card. Pro controller has the new C button.
Yeah. That's about it.
Nope. Back pedals, baby.
Oh, back pedals. No analog triggers though. Still.
Yeah, no analog triggers, which, I mean, we can skip ahead.
We're getting a controller with analog triggers.
We are.
It's not a Switch controller per se.
Yeah.
Also, looking at the dock, just one more thing with the dock. It does have 2 regular USB ports on the outside of the dock. So, GameCube controller adapter is still compatible.
I guarantee you the only reason why that's there is because they know that they would get murdered if they couldn't use their GameCube controller adapters.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I'm still looking at the dock was because I wanted to see if those ports were there.
Okay, Elijah, we're going to play a game. We're going to play a game right now. Everyone, you can play at home too. Unless you already know this little factoid, then shh, don't spoil anything right now. I need you to go to the time. I need you to go to the timestamp on the direct, 22:10.
22:10.
Okay. We're talking about compatible Nintendo Switch games being playable on the Nintendo Switch, when most of these games will get a free, just by the nature of being played on newer hardware, a boost. For example, Xenoblade Chronicle X, we already know in the code, if it's playing on Switch 2, automatically gets a 60 FPS boost, no upgrade required. Right?
Yeah.
One of the games on screen currently right now has not actually released on Switch.
Oh. Crap. At 2:10?
At 22 minutes, 10 seconds.
At 22:10. Is it? It's Xenoblade Chronicles X.
No, that game just came out.
Oh, it just came out? Okay, that's...
They accidentally revealed one of the next Switch ports. Yoshi's Woolly World isn't on Switch yet.
Oh, I thought that was crafted. Is that Woolly World?
That's Woolly World.
Do you think there's a chance they used the wrong box art?
It's either that or that is a new HD render of Poochie, and Poochie's only in the 3DS version.
Oh, no, they messed up.
Yeah.
They messed up.
They accidentally revealed that we are still going to get the last Wii U port is still getting put to Switch.
Wow. I never played Woolly World, so I will 100% buy that.
It is top 3 Yoshi game.
Oh, yeah.
It is top 3 Yoshi game. Crafted World was such a disappointment following it. But yeah, fun fact. I just wanted to point that out as I was scrolling through. But most Nintendo Switch games will get a slight boost. However, we do get games that are having Nintendo Switch 2 editions. Most of them are, if it is just a performance boost, it is $10. If it is a performance boost in new content, it is $15 to $20 based off of Nintendo Spain prices.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's acceptable.
Certain games, you will get them for free if you have Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass. For example,
again, that's understandable.
At launch, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrades are free for Nintendo Switch expansion pass users.
Those are honestly the ones that should have been free from the get-go.
I think the funniest thing is that when they were showing the improvements in the video, what were the two areas? The area from each game they showed off.
Oh, here, let me just skip to that part of the video. Let's see.
It's around
I'm watching it right now.
The 25-minute mark.
Yeah, it's 25:30. Okay. Is that Great Plateau? No. Oh, that's the Master Sword Shrine, right?
It's the Lost Woods.
And then there's Zora's Domain.
Zora's Domain specifically going up to the Water Temple, the two areas with the worst FPSs in both of those games.
Oh, smart. Because those were both running really smoothly.
Yeah, those would go down to 20 frames per second.
Oh, that is running super well.
Yeah.
And he's gliding in there?
Yeah.
The lighting in the Master Sword area looks so good.
Yeah. We skipped over Mario Party's expansion.
Do you want to gawk at your face? Then play Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Welcome back, okay. Mario Party 5 mic controls.
Please no. I just want to play Poke Pummel. That's the only game. That's the only mini game I ever want to play. Poke Pummel is not in the game. I don't want to play it.
This expansion should be free. There should be free to at least NSO Plus members.
Yeah.
But Breath of the Wild.
It's not gonna be.
I know. Well, I think eventually they'll take older ones throughout the life cycle and add them in.
Yeah.
I think they'll do that over time. I feel like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think they know that they will be massacred because Breath of the Wild is 8, almost 9 years old.
It's a Wii U game.
It's a Wii U game, and Tears of the Kingdom
is literally Zelda Wii U.
And Tears of the Kingdom is a Wii U game with a little bit more optimization.
Yes.
It helps that the technical director is the director of the Switch. So
yeah, so he knows the specs better than anybody else.
So
in other news, Kirby can terrestrialize.
Kirby can terrestrialize. We don't know how long this campaign is. The new campaign is.
I mean, $15-$20? Like, give me like that many hours. How many? $1 per hour.
Well, base Kirby and the Forgotten Land
I know.
Is if you're 100%ing it, a 40-hour game.
Yeah.
What you're saying is actually not unreasonable.
No.
It actually is not unreasonable. So, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is in my top 5 favorite Switch games of all time.
It's so good. It does such a good job bringing Kirby into 3D finally.
Knowing that...
I'm honestly glad that they waited that long to bring Kirby into 3D.
Oh, yeah, and they did a couple of experiments with side games first before making it into a mainline game. Yeah.
Yeah. They handled Kirby's transition to 3D so well.
I'm interested to see if this is a Bowser's Fury style of thing, in which the elements that are inside the expansion and the new story, if they are hinting at the next step for 3D Kirby.
Yeah. Hold up. Is that... Wait. Are those textures or are those modeled windows?
Are you talking about Kirby?
They're textures.
Are you talking about Kirby?
No Pokemon.
They're textures, yes. No, we'll get to Pokemon. Oh, we'll get to Pokemon.
I was wondering if the Nintendo Switch 2 edition had real windows.
No. There is some cool stuff. I'll have to find the link on Twitter.
Yeah.
But someone did do a comparison between the two.
Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself. We got a game before Pokemon.
Metroid.
Also, Spring Kirby looks hilarious.
Yes, correct.
I love him so much.
It looks like it's a mix.
I might change my Twitter profile picture to him because I don't use Twitter anyway.
That's fair. I think the idea of the Star-Crossed world, if you've played the post game of Kirby, of the Star World bleeding into the main land is
Yeah.
interesting for an aesthetic. I'm very excited to see how the story plays out.
It yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah, interested to see what gameplay mechanics they're trying out, and also I wonder which how Lab Studio worked on this because they have like five sub teams.
Yeah.
Interested to see who directs the. They'll probably have a separate credits for Star Cross World, so I'm interested to see what team members carry over once they beat the game, because God knows Nintendo doesn't share who develops their games until the game's out.
Yeah. No,
Unless you
they don't want you to know unless you're watching their credits.
unless you know what you're looking for. For example, one game's very clearly made by the Odyssey Galaxy team, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. We'll get there. It's just gonna be at the end.
Metroid
Okay,
Prime
so
4
moving-
has mouse controls.
Mouse controls and also 4K 60 FPS or 1080 120 FPS.
Now here's the thing.
On big screen.
Here's the thing. I might just play it at 1080p 120.
Yeah, like I don't know if I have even a 4K compatible TV. So I think I might end up playing at 1080
Hey, Elijah.
120.
I know for a fact you
Yeah.
do.
Is it the TV that you gave me?
Yep. I know for a fact you do.
Okay. Yeah, but like that game, they did not show off a lot in this direct, but they showed off a lot in the direct before this.
Samus has psychic powers. She gets a new red suit. In the first
The red suit looks so good, dude.
in the first reveal, a character from a side game comes back and is alive, which was teased at the end of Metroid Prime 3, and for some reason also Federation Force.
Why not?
Why not? We know that technically in the timeline, Metroids are almost supposed to be extinct, but there's still more Metroids now, and Silex stole one. Oh no. Metroid Prime is at its best, because everyone still agrees that Metroid Prime 1, like the order of how well received the games are 1, 3, and 2, right?
Uh-huh.
Metroid Prime works at its best, and I think Retro understands that for this game, is that they're not doing multiple locales, they're doing one planet. And you're fully exploring this planet and the mysteries of that planet and how it connects to the story of Samus, right?
Yes.
Metroid Prime works best when it's a 3D Metroidvania that is just about vibes. Environmental storytelling with very little dialogue, with maybe a couple expositional pieces.
Yeah, 100%.
It looks like that. The only thing I'm concerned about is that the shots don't look super impactful.
But we also haven't seen very much yet.
True. We'll find out. I think we might get gameplay this week from Nintendo Treehouse. Oh, also, Nintendo Treehouse tomorrow and Friday. I'm not waking up early to watch them. I will watch the VODs over time.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch the Mario Kart stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Metroid stuff. And probably the Donkey Kong stuff.
In other news, ZA finally has a lighting engine.
Yeah, it looked... I think they weren't allowed to show Switch 2 footage.
No, because
I think that's what the problem was.
People showed a side-by-side of the similar animations and shots that you could compare and contrast from the trailer, from Switch 2 event to the last Direct, and it is night and day difference. The
very first shot of Prism Tower in Lumio City looks better than any shot we got in the original trailers.
Yeah, so it's like if you're buying it on Switch 1, it means you could not get a Switch 2, which valid, but also very clearly it feels like this game was developed for Switch 2, but Pokemon Company was like, we can't abandon Switch 1 owners.
Yeah. But I've never seen a better looking Mega Ampharos.
Correct. But also the difference in lighting engines between the two games and lighting rendering, pun intended, night and day. Crazy. But the 6 Switch 2 editions that are going to have red carts: Mario Party, the Zeldas, Kirby, Metroid, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Everything else, free upgrades for now.
And Pokemon still doesn't know how to make windows.
Sadly.
Sadly, cannot figure out how to make a window. Even though they had already figured out how to make a window, they unlearned how to make a window.
Yep. We already talked about dash and drive. Partners. We can kind of go through these quickly. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like the first one everyone expected. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, 100%.
Tarnished edition, because it's not going to be as good as the other versions. It's going to be tarnished.
Yeah, because it's not like the Switch 2 seems like a fairly powerful console, but it's not Elden Ring powerful.
Well, I mean, it technically is. Elden Ring ran on a PS4.
Yeah, and Elden Ring will run on a Switch 2.
Will it look?
But is it the best place to play it?
Oh,
And
absolutely
will it look
not.
the best.
There's a handful. There's a handful of those in this next section that I'm going to talk about, and only one of them I will actually buy a Switch version for.
Yeah.
Hades 2!
If you are the type
let's
to
go.
play Elden Ring, you probably already have a Steam Deck if you want to play it portably.
So true. But Hades 2...
Buying that day one.
That is not one of the games I'm talking about, because Hades is just such a simple enough game to run on anything that it'll look just as good there versus anywhere else.
I will buy anything the Hades devs ever make ever. I love them. This game is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, like no brainer. We're both gonna play it and love it. It's gonna be great.
Oh, 100%. I've already put let me pull up my Steam. Let me pull up the Steam real quick. Several hundred hours into this game, and it's not even fully released yet.
And it's gonna be launch. It's gonna launch its alpha version or beta version. It's like, that's cool. Like, we get early access. Like, amazing.
It's awesome.
Game you won't play, but I probably will play. Only for one reason. This is a game that I'm gonna begrudgingly buy because I like it. I like it. I like the franchise. You like it, one of its spin-off franchise. Street Fighter 6 is gonna get character passes seasons 1 and 2 for free.
Oh, really?
That's
awesome.
It gets both seasons 1 and 2, or years 1 and 2 is what they're calling it. Year 1 pass and year 2 pass for free. And it confirmed we are still getting amiibos because Street Fighter 6 is getting new amiibos.
Yeah. Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly are all getting amiibos.
Which are all the current generation of new fighters that are introduced in the game.
Yeah. Which
is cool. I love them.
I personally want a current design Cammy amiibo, but that's just me.
That's fair. Surprise for me, because I know for a fact this game did not sell well. But a sequel to Daemon X Machina?
Yeah, that's a huge surprise. I'm surprised that a sequel for this game got greenlit.
Like, it did not sell well.
Also, I'm not mad that a sequel to this game got greenlit.
Okay,
so it looks awesome.
So here's the thing. I have actually, out of everything, I've looked at this trailer over and over a surprising amount. I have played and beat Daemon X Machina. There's a term that some people use in gaming called swimming in sevens, where a 7 out of 10 can be super, super fun and super entertaining, and you have your fun time with your set. Like your SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottoms. 7 out of 10 game, super fun to play. Right?
100%.
Daemon X Machina was one of my Nintendo Switch 7 out of 10s, where I'm like, this game fundamentally is the same game level over and over again, but I'm in a giant mech killing other mechs and tiny tanks. It is so much fun. Yeah. This game looks like it is expanded. It's the same combat, but the combat's expanded with actual level design and actual fight design between other mechs.
Yeah, so they took what they had in the original game, and they improved upon it. I'm still surprised that they got the chance to improve upon it.
This might be a moment for Marvelous, which is the publisher for this game, to finally have a game in a long while, where the first game wasn't good, but the second game puts the series on the map.
Yes, because from what we've seen, which, again, is not a lot.
Not a lot.
It looks very good.
I enjoyed the first game. If it takes that and just refines it, it'll be so good.
Yeah,
Also,
100.
did they say when it was releasing?
Let me
I'm
look.
scrolling through right now.
No, it just says coming soon.
Coming soon. Okay. So I'm. It'll be fun if it's really good. It's also co-op.
No,
So
wait, no. It does have a date. It does have a date.
What's the
It's
date?
what's the ninth month? 9/5/25.
September.
September 5th, 2025 is the release date.
If it's good, it's co-op. The first one was co-op. We could play together. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think it might be a fun exercise for us to play the first game too. Not even because it's like it's on sale all the time for cheap now. So
yeah, because it didn't sell well, so they're trying to sell more copies.
Yeah. So, Split Fiction.
Speaking of co-op, Split Fiction. This game feels like it's super suited for Switch.
Oh
Switch
yeah.
Play.
Also, the fact that you don't need to have the pass, you probably could do game share with this.
Yeah, in fact, knowing who made this, you can definitely do game share with this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be good.
Like, they already do their own form of game share with this game, so there's no way that it's not game share compatible.
Yeah, I want to play it. Don't have the time.
It's gonna be on Switch 2 on launch day.
Yeah, it might be a pickup.
If you are not a Mario Kart person, this would be a great pickup for launch day.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't be a Mario Kart person. That doesn't make sense to me. But if you're not, this is a game that you should pick up.
This next one, I'm gonna say what the next one is, and then I'm gonna skip ahead to something in a similar genre, and we're just gonna call it "Sports Games Are Back on Switch."
EA Sports and 2K Sports.
The only thing of note out of this is that Nintendo's getting a Madden game for the first time, I think, since the Wii.
No, there was Madden 13 on the Wii U.
Okay, since the Wii U then.
I know, because I'm one of the 2 people who own Madden 13 for the Wii U.
So, the first time since launch Wii U, we've got a Madden game. I think that's the only thing of note. Unless, Elijah, are you interested in going into The Island? The Island of Relevancy with wrestler Roman Reigns?
No.
What?
I know nothing about the WWE. But
Elijah,
John Cena though. I know him.
Elijah, you're not relevant unless you're on the Island of Relevancy with Roman Reigns.
I don't understand this joke. I don't get it.
That's the best part. You don't. The island. The island is the My Career mode for WWE 2K, and you're becoming a pro wrestler, and it's to create a character, and you have to impress Roman Reigns because he's the box art person. He was the former champion, but still
Okay.
Yeah, he's the former champion who just lost to Cody Rhodes last year, but he's still like one of the most popular wrestlers. And so, in order to get in Roman Reigns' good graces, the thing he used to say to people is that you're not relevant, you're not a part of the Island of Relevancy. So they turned it into a career mode of being on the Island of Relevancy.
That's awesome.
By the way, the island sucks. Everyone hates it.
Well, I don't think there's been a WWE game that's 2K's put out that's been recently that's been reviewed very well.
By critics, yes. By fans, different. People love the last wrestling 2K game. 24.
Really?
People, like, wrestling fans love it.
I've just seen, the only things I've seen is just how glitchy they are.
Yes, but that's the fun. That's part of the appeal.
Okay. So it's a Mario Kart Wii situation.
It's a swimming in sevens situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hogwarts, I don't care.
I don't really care either. I have it on PC and I put like maybe an hour into it. I couldn't get into it.
I'm about to say,
like, if you like Harry Potter, you can. I mean, it's on there, and I've heard it's good.
Yeah.
Just not my thing. Next, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. Preston, take it away.
Ah! Ah! Skate game, new skaters. SpongeBob level because of the ties with Activision and Nickelodeon. It looks great. I'm excited. It looks super fun. Do you like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? Do you like arcadey crap? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it. I've never played a skateboarding game, but it looks like a good skateboarding game.
I think you would like Tony Hawk versus like a Skate, like the franchise Skate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hitman.
World of Assassination Signature Edition.
It's Hitman 1 through 3, the reboot, all in one game, all connected to each other with some crazy special missions like killing certain celebrities.
Oh, that's fun.
It's open sandbox assassination.
That is fun. That's just it's just fun. It's just not something I thought we would see in a Nintendo Direct.
Also, 007, which they're also
007, dude.
calling back to GoldenEye.
Which, if you're gonna call back to one of the James Bond things for video games, it should be GoldenEye.
Yeah. Bravely Default looks like a 3DS game still.
It does. That was the first thing I literally. If you go watch our reaction from this morning, the thing I said as soon as it goes to gameplay is, "Oh, this is a 3DS game."
It sounds like Yakuza is. Here's my prediction: Yakuza 0 is the first game in the timeline for Yakuza. Obviously, It's 0, and it says that more games are coming to Switch. I feel like they're about to release the games in chronological order.
Yeah, so they're gonna give you time to complete the first ones before releasing the next ones, and just have a steady release schedule of Yakuza games.
Yeah, like it's gonna be Yakuza 0, Yakuza 1, like the Yakuza remakes of like the first few games up until we get to the current Yakuza games.
Which that makes sense. And those from what I've heard, because I again have not played them, those are good games. So,
just for the sake of time, we're already over 2 hours.
Yep.
Very excited for Age of Imprisonment.
Bro, unironically, my favorite Zelda game is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
I mean, I would disagree with you, but it's my favorite of the Nintendo Muso games.
It's my favorite Zelda game.
Yeah, you also haven't completed many Zelda games, so here we are.
I haven't completed any Zelda games except for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
Because I like hack and slashes. Yeah. So I am very excited for this game. I think it's going in a cool direction with Link so far not looking like he's even playable.
Yeah, or
and showing the story of Zelda in that when she went back in time. I think it's a really interesting concept for what they're doing.
If he is, it's going to be a post-game non-story related reason to play as him.
Yeah.
Nintendo GameCube Switch Online.
Bro, I can't wait to have a wireless, brand new, official Nintendo GameCube controller.
I can't wait to play F-Zero GX online.
Bro, we both popped off when that GameCube logo dropped, dude.
Oh, I'm probably going to clip it. We get GameCube controllers back. It's fantastic.
We get Wind Waker?
Dude, we get both of the Pokemon games, and I hope there's Pokemon Home compatibility for them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We get Soul Calibur, the edition with Link.
The good one.
Yeah, the good one.
Strikers, your favorite Sunshine. Chibi.
Yeah, we got Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon Gale XD Gale of Darkness, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Coliseum. Like, this is a great game lineup.
I think you're not putting enough emphasis on Fire Emblem because that is the hardest to find Fire Emblem game.
And it has Ike in it, my favorite Fire Emblem character, because he's in Smash.
I fight for
and
my
he
friends.
Doesn't play like Marth.
I fight. I fight for my friends.
He big chunky sword man. With fire sometimes.
No, fire a lot. That's part of his thing. But also that's a lot of the Fire Emblem protags, so here we are.
I wonder why.
Who's to say?
Yeah, who's to say? Anyway, I'm
Deltarune!
very excited for GameCube stuff.
That's fair. Deltarune. Boom, ba, ba, ba.
The amount of time Toby Fox got in this Nintendo Direct is crazy.
Yeah.
He deserves it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 new chapters of Deltarune.
It's probably gonna be the first paid chapters too.
Yeah. It looks really good.
One thing
because it's Deltarune.
I think one thing people are missing out is this the first branding that said it's Undertale's parallel story.
Yes. What does that mean?
We don't know. But Sans is in the next chapter.
Yes, you do see him very briefly.
Yeah.
I personally have not played any Deltarune because I've been waiting for the whole game to be out.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to finally be able to play this game.
Well, it's not the whole game because we're supposed to get, I think, 6 chapters.
I will keep waiting then.
Yep. But it sounds like when last time we checked is that these are done and 5 and 6 are well on their way.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we've been waiting for a while.
The gap between chapter 2 and 3 and 4 is like 3 years.
Yeah, but it makes sense because they clearly finished 3 and 4 and started 5 and 6 in that amount of time.
Well, that in the dev updates, that's what Toby said. So
yeah, so it's not like it was years of them just farting around. They were actively working, and that's a good thing. Like,
yeah.
Give people time to work.
Borderlands 4. It's gonna be fun.
Yep, it's Borderlands.
Civ 7. Blech.
It's Civ 7.
We already talked about 2K. This was the game that froze on the stream that I missed, and then I ended up watching it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't miss anything. Survival Kids?
Yeah, it's Survival Kids. I am not giving much commentary for the last 3 games, but there's really not much I can say about them.
No,
like,
correct.
It's a top-down survival game that with co-op.
Enter the Gungeon 2.
That I am excited for.
That's gonna be good.
I really like Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool.
I
haven't really seen the trailer for it, to be perfectly honest. Like, I heard the audio and I saw the trailer, but I didn't see them together.
That's fair.
But brand new art style. The boss that they show off looks really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
It looks like it looks like the gameplay stayed the same or even took a step forward. And if the gameplay stayed the same or took a step forward, that is a good game.
That's gonna be freaking fantastic.
I think the game after Enter the Gungeon, I just legitimately have not seen. This is brand new. I have not seen this.
That's brand new. It's a indie game published by Devolver.
Okay.
Devolver usually...
I did not see this during the Nintendo Direct this morning. It was frozen by this point.
Devolver usually curates really good indie games, so...
Okay.
So...
It looks really charming.
Oh, yeah.
The little astronauts walking around, the little creatures that are following them. The carrot dude.
I was gonna say, yeah, the carrot dude.
Carrot dude.
Carrot dude? Heck yeah.
So I think this is a nice, charming game. Nice little charming game. But we'll see in 2026. It's not coming out for a while, so it's still early on, but I think it looks really, really charming.
Yeah.
Okay. Cyberpunk.
I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I have played this game. I have beat this game. The fact that it is coming to Switch is very, very fun. I'm curious how well optimized it is for going on Switch. I think the biggest news about Cyberpunk is we've learned that we are getting game carts bigger than 32 gigs because it is a 64 gig cart it's going on. Meaning that
really?
They have game carts that are bigger than the Switch original file sizes.
So they're not skimping on game carts anymore.
Nope. But it also makes me curious of how expensive Cyberpunk is going to be when it comes out.
$120.
Speaking of games that I was not shocked to see on this, Final Fantasy
VII Remake Intergrade.
You don't care. I
like Final Fantasy VII Remake. What do you mean?
That's fair.
I have like 30 hours in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's fair. You might almost get to that same point again.
I've gotten to 30 hours twice.
Now, the reason why I'm skipping over this is because it's like, we've played these games, cool. You know what we haven't played? And we can currently laugh at Josh in the chat over. Hollow Knight Silk Song.
It's here, and there was gameplay shown.
And Team Cherry's still saying it will come out this year. They are confident it will come out this year.
Now, to be fair, the gameplay is like 15 seconds maximum. However, it's gameplay, and it looks good.
We still don't know anything else about this game, so there's literally not much we can talk about.
Hey, they can do flips, and there's they have a needle, and they like swing it around a little bit.
Yeah. This is part of the montage, by the way, people. That just goes by really quick. So it's like 2-point hospital. Cool.
Some of this stuff has been shown, like Witchbrook, that was already shown off.
Yeah.
In the previous direct.
Wild Hearts
Puyo Tetris 2S.
Yep.
Sure.
Wild Hearts is actually interesting. It's a Monster Hunter clone.
Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Holiday 2025.
Star Wars Outlaws. Pfft.
Okay. Who cares?
Nobunaga's Ambition. Actually a really fun strategy game. Elijah, I need to speak to you in terms of analogies you understand. This is the series that crossed over with Pokemon to make Pokemon Conquest.
Oh, I don't know what Pokemon Conquest is.
Pokemon Conquest was the first ancient Japanese Pokemon game in which Japanese samurai and shogun had Pokemon. And it was Fire Emblem meets Pokemon.
Oh, that is actually a really cool concept for Pokemon.
It's a Gen 5 spinoff that's stuck on the DS. Very fun. Shadow Labyrinth, that's a thing.
Yeah. Fast Fusion looks like F-Zero.
Fast Fusion is the third in a trilogy. The first two games were in the early life cycle of the Switch, specifically published by Nintendo because they couldn't make an F-Zero game, and they're the closest thing we have to F-Zero.
Reanimal looks like Little Nightmares.
Yep.
Which Little Nightmares is a nice little spooky game, so I like it. Fork Knife Battle Royale. Yeah. Arcade Archives Ridge Racer.
Oh, you skipped a game, my friend.
Did I? Which game did I skip?
Never mind. I skipped a game. My apologies. Ridge Racer!
Professor Layton.
It'll be good. It's Professor Layton.
Tamagotchi Plaza. When is Tamagotchi still around?
Human Fall Flat 2?
Human Fall Flat.
First one was fun.
I never played it.
Fun, weird physics.
Oh, cool. I like what's it called? Gang Beast.
It's very similar, but instead it's a co-op game.
Yeah.
Josh's least favorite game in the Direct. The Dusk Bloods.
Now Nintendo is getting an exclusive Soulsborne.
Yes, kinda. They're currently. I need people to temper their expectations. I need them to. Miyazaki himself has said that after Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree, that they are taking a break and doing some fun little side experimental projects. And what we've seen reported after the direct, this is one of those multiplayer little fun little PvPvE side projects. Instead of getting Erdtree, they're getting their own game that works with the system's hardware.
Okay.
And it looks like similar to Erdtree, or similar to Night Rain, it's just getting stuff off the cutting room floor from all the other Souls games as the enemies. So it's not Bloodborne with cut content from all the other games.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's a Miyazaki directed Souls game for Switch still. FromSoft game for Switch still.
Yeah, it's still gonna be good.
It's still gonna be great.
People need to realize it's not gonna be what they thought it was gonna be.
Elijah.
What?
You and I live in a world in which Masahiro Sakurai is directing Kirby's Air Riders, a sequel and successor to Kirby's Air Ride for the Nintendo GameCube.
And I have never been happier.
Do you think this is Masahiro Sakurai's last game?
As much as I don't want it to be, it would be a fitting send-off for him. But, like, we need a Smash Bros. For the Switch, too, though.
I was listening to someone. We will most likely get... I think we are more likely to get it as the last two projects for Sakurai. Kirby's Air Riders and Ultimate Plus with Expansion Pass 3. Then we are a new Masahiro Sakurai directed Smash Bros. Game. And that Expansion Pass 3, Fighters Pass 3, is co-directed by Sakurai and whoever is succeeding him.
Yes, I don't think there needs to be a brand new Smash on Switch 2. If we get another Fighters Pass, I think that can hold us over and help and let Sakurai train somebody to be like to show like how he goes about creating characters and creating content for the Smash Bros. Series so that it gets put into good hands.
Yes. It sounds like
that's Sakurai's baby. He wants it in good hands.
Yes. I said this during our reactions, but Masahiro Sakurai said, "No more Smash Bros. Give me Kirby again." And that makes me so happy.
It makes me so happy that he went back to Kirby after all these years.
His first franchise,
he created Kirby when he was 19.
Like, holy crap. Like, he's near retirement. And he gets to end his career with one of his first franchise. His first franchise.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so poetic.
There are very few directors in the gaming industry where I can point at them and be like, you are one of the greats more than just your game, like your game directing, but like in terms of like you're a game director and a gaming personality at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you then narrow that list down to Japanese developers, you have like 4.
Yeah.
And Masahiro Sakurai is one of the greatest video game directors of all time. Like the amount
I would say he is my favorite video game director of all time.
Yeah. When I said that this is going to be the end of an era and the passing of the torch, and specifically them focusing on other things and the inspiration influence is obviously going to be from the GameCube generation, right?
Yeah.
I think the only person who hasn't passed the torch yet is Sakurai. And it'll be interesting to see if this generation he actually does it.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see. I don't know if he has it in him.
It'll be very sad if he...
Yeah.
It'd be very sad if he doesn't find someone to succeed him in his style.
Yeah. And obviously, he's my favorite, gaming person of all time. Because he created one of my favorite gaming franchises in Kirby, and then my actual favorite gaming franchise and favorite video game of all time, Super Smash Brothers. So there is nothing I want more than for him to find somebody who can succeed him and make games in his style.
I think we both had a very not like teary-eyed. I a little teary-eyed.
No, we were both teary-eyed
at this announcement, and I think it's because I think we both see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, Kirby's Air Ride is the beginning of the end of his career, and not in the he's washed up, but like, we're about to see.
He's not washed up. He's just at the end.
It's like we're about to watch a man have an almost flawless career in the industry. Yeah. Like, name a game that he made, a AAA game that he made that missed.
You can't.
You can't. Even his small indie side projects are bangers.
Yeah. You are hard pressed to find a game that he worked on that isn't good.
That isn't great.
Like, his standard of quality with anything that he touched was so high. And it's just hard to see him go.
I cannot wait, because I love Kirby's Air Ride. And I love Sakurai.
Yeah.
And he semi-retired for a second, made a bunch of videos in preparation for retirement, developed this game, and saw through the process of the editing and editing supervision for this game at the same time as his YouTube series.
Yeah. Like, the man, his work ethic is unmatched.
That man has made, like you said, some of my favorite games of all time, and is responsible for some of my favorite franchises of all time, and is responsible for some of my favorite moments of all time. Cloud being announced for Smash Bros. Sonic being announced for Smash Bros.
Just the whole culture of people waiting for Smash Bros. Announcements.
Sakurai broke Twitter.
My favorite gaming announcement memories are anytime we were even if it didn't happen, we were like, oh, there could be a Smash Bros. Announcement during this. Oh, theorizing which characters are going to come in and which characters aren't going to make it and stuff like that. And without Sakurai, that just doesn't happen. Because you don't know that the characters are going to be quality. But with Sakurai behind the project, you're excited for characters to get into the game because you know the quality of the product that he's putting out.
Yeah. Let's end this.
Yeah, we got into this whole tangent off of a 30-second clip of Kirby riding a star.
We got the most rare looking Nintendo game ever made. I was convinced this was a game made by Rare based off of character designs. And somehow Nintendo...
guys with eyes?
What?
The little crystal guys with eyes? Like, what? This is just a Rare.
That's just a Rare character. And there's some people that are like, the new designs for the new Donkey Kong game are better than Rare's designs. I don't know what you're smoking, but the new Donkey Kong design is something Rare would have eventually made if they would have stayed with Nintendo.
Yeah, this is just if Rare made Donkey Kong again.
And you can tell that they have so much love and appreciation for what Rare did to Donkey Kong in so much of this reveal. In terms of character designs, in terms of homages to Donkey Kong Country and 2D side-scrolling style levels, and even matching the lighting design to Donkey Kong Country and changing the lighting generation to make it look like Donkey Kong Country's in those sections. Still keeping the red tie on Donkey Kong.
He's wearing overalls, he's wearing a hat, but he's still got his tie.
Yeah. And even then, he doesn't wear the overalls and the hat the entire time. Like,
Yeah.
there's obviously costumes you can unlock in this game. Uh, I am so excited to play a 3D Donkey Kong game again. I want to see more gameplay footage because apparently the whole point of this game, and this is in the about, I have it pulled up right now, the about game section on the Nintendo website. The big guy is back. Donkey Kong swings onto the new Nintendo Switch 2 system with a brand new action adventure. Help Donkey Kong make his way through the depths of the underground world. The deeper he goes, the more amazing places he finds.
Oh, okay.
There is no shortage of things that DK can pulverize with his powerful punches, and shows a montage of him clearing out an entire hillside.
Oh my goodness.
Break on through the truly destructive environments. These baddies are up no good. Behold the golden bananas. The mysterious group known as Void Code has its eyes on this bunch, but no one messes with DK's favorite food. During the chaos, Voidco stole the breathtaking bunches of bananas, and now Donkey Kong must venture deep into the underground to get them back. Some of the level decals are throwbacks to Donkey Kong in the arcade. Some of them are wholly new level designs. Some of them are based off of Donkey Kong Country. This looks like, in the best way possible, the same love and care to Donkey Kong's history being put into it as Mario Odyssey put into Mario's history.
This honestly looks like a sequel to Mario Odyssey in the weirdest way.
Both DK64 and Mario Odyssey. Like, both of them.
Yeah. But beyond like the actual plot of the game, looking at Donkey Kong, just looking at him, this is the most expressive Donkey Kong we've ever seen.
He looks so good. Not to make this about...
He has a different face for every single animation. He's smiling, he's angry, he's sad. It's all there, and you can see it in his face. Even at like far back speeds where he's like rolling around, when he's in the part of the roll animation where his face is showing, you can clearly see what his face is showing.
Dude, I will give Sakurai credit for this direction as well. Donkey Kong was pretty emotionless for the longest time until Subspace Emissary and him updating the model for Donkey Kong and Smash Bros. This looks fully inspired by those facial animations, adding squash and squish, doing all of those things. Like, there was a Twitter post, like 40 different facial animations from 40 different frames.
Yeah. It's impressive.
It is a new...
There's no other way to put it. And it's not just Donkey Kong. Like, obviously, the bulk of their focus was on Donkey Kong. But, like, looking at the enemies in this game, all of them are just as expressive.
Dude, the villains? Like, the
villains.
Voidco members? Like, they look so good.
They look incredible.
I have a feeling that this is going to be one of the great Nintendo platformers. I have a feeling.
It's just... They wouldn't have showed it at the very end if they weren't proud of what they... Like, because Donkey Kong, he's a wildly popular character. Wildly popular. But he's never been the guy to end a direct.
Yeah, never been.
So they know they have something special on their hands if he's going to be the guy who ends their big Switch 2 direct.
He's never even ended a E3 presentation before directs. He was a midpoint thing. Donkey Kong Country Returns was a midpoint thing. I remember watching that as a kid. At the Game Awards was when Tropical Freeze got announced. And it was like Nintendo's announcement for that, and it was in the middle of the show. Right? Mario vs. Donkey Kong has always been a middle of the direct thing. Like, Donkey Kong is a popular character and is Nintendo's oldest character. Outside if you want to count Mr. Game & Watch as a character, right?
Yeah, but he's not. He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
He's just a dude, right? him getting his own adventure and getting his own flowers and basically getting a soft reboot, if not a hard reboot, in, I believe, what's about to be an anniversary year this year for Donkey Kong. Okay, keyboard release. If my S key would start working, I need to get a new keyboard soon. Yeah, July 17th, 2025 is the release date. And the year it came out was, yeah, we're almost at the 45th anniversary for Donkey Kong.
Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, we're almost at the 45th year milestone.
Yeah. The fact that they have this at the end of the direct shows me that they are confident in this game, and they know that this is going to be a great game, and they know that this is going to be the reason, like, that Switch 2s like sell units.
Oh yeah, and it's priced.
And I think
it's priced normally.
Yeah, which is the best part, because Mario Kart is not. It's just this couldn't be a more unexpected ending game, but it could also not be a more deserving ending this direct game.
The crazy part is like 4 years ago, after Bowser's Fury, there was a rumor that the team was working on a Donkey Kong game, and then no one ever saw anything of it, so we all thought, fake rumor. No, they were right the whole time.
No, they were working on a Donkey Kong game, just they kept it under wraps really well.
They kept it under wraps really, really, really well.
Like, nobody expected this direct to end with Donkey Kong. Everybody was like, oh, it's going to be a 3D Mario.
It's going to be Mario Odyssey 2. It's going to be the successor to Mario Odyssey. I thought that.
It's going to be Galaxy 3.
Right? It's like one of those. I would call this the biggest delightful surprise.
Yeah.
Like,
this is, like, I didn't know I wanted this until I saw this. And now I can't stop thinking about, I want to play this game.
And we get gameplay in the next 2 days. Elijah, it has been 2 hours and 30 minutes. We have talked the highs. We have talked the lows. We have talked about the weird Nintendo decisions. And we have talked about some of the most peak moments in history of both the Switch, a little bit of history of Nintendo, and the future of where Nintendo is going. And I know we could do it for 5 hours more, but it's getting late.
It is getting late. So I think it is best to end it here.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this direct. I think that it is the perfect direct to start the Switch 2 era. I'm not saying it is a perfect direct, because it's not. There are issues. But I think the way that it started with Mario Kart, showing off how big that game is going to be, and ending with the two back-to-back Kirby's Air Riders and Donkey Kong, what's it called again?
Bonanza.
Bonanza. I don't think it could have started or ended any stronger than it did. And I think that first impressions and final impressions are the most important, and they nailed those.
People were complaining, this direct was disappointing. I think the news we got after the direct about price point, about all of those other things, and even some of the weird hardware stuff where it's like, what are we doing this connectivity stuff for in this way? Like, whatever, right? In terms of what we got, I want to say 6 good new Nintendo announcements from first party.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
We got updates for 4 Nintendo games that are from last gen going to this gen. And
yeah,
we got updates about what future content is, and 90% of it was 2025. We have almost no idea outside of Rhythm Heaven, Tomodachi Life, and a couple of third-party things. What's happening in 2026?
And that could not be more exciting.
Like, holy crap. Like, I think it delivered on exactly what we needed for launch. People wanting to know
100%.
I think people wanting to know exact things about the end of the year. Summer Game Fest is going to happen it happens the day after this launches. That's when all of the updates and direct goes. You don't think we're not going to have a post first launch direct that's going to go into the rest of this year and the start of next year?
Yeah, they definitely showcase things that were coming out like immediately after the Switch 2 launched. Like, I think the latest thing this year was like for Nintendo was like September.
No, we got one winter.
Oh no, Pokemon Holiday.
Well, we also we got one other game winter from Nintendo. I forget which one.
Yeah. But like, I think it's smart for them to leave 2026 wide open because you have a good start. You have I would say near perfect start if all of these games are as good as we think they're going to be. But you also leave the future wide open.
Winter's Kirby.
And Winter's Kirby, yeah, honestly that's a great winter release.
Yeah.
But you leave the future wide open, and leaving the future wide open for this amount of time will lead to like online speculation of like, hey, what's happening after this year? And I think it's only going to be good for the Switch 2. I think it is a great decision to only focus on very early on games.
One of the things that I'm going to give this direct credit for that it did better than the Switch 2017 presentation that showed off the Switch for the first time. That was the parallel with this. A lot of the things that they did right in that presentation, they kept over here. They had the 3 directors of the Switch showing off what made the console unique. One of those directors carried over and is now the producer for the Switch 2. And the way that they showed it off, they kept that brief. They did it 20 minutes and showed off a game that's immediately going to appeal to a mass amount of people. And they ended on a game that people were expecting to see, but in a way that they weren't expecting it. We got to see a full story trailer and environment trailer and combat trailer for Breath of the Wild right before it released. We're seeing the first reveal of a Donkey Kong game that we haven't seen before. And the things that 2017 presentation did wrong is that the amount of games that were announced that said they were coming out that year and ended up getting delayed 3 to 8 years later was significant.
Yes.
Games that wouldn't happen until halfway or at the end of the Switch's life cycle were announced at that presentation. And I think they learned their mistake of, we can't announce a new SMT here and be like, it's coming out soon, and then it's not ready until year 4 of the Switch.
Yeah. Or they can't announce a Metroid Prime game and not have it come out until the release of their next console.
To be fair, that was their E3 presentation that year. It wasn't that presentation. But nonetheless, like, they did call that shot too soon, right?
Yes. I think they are learning their lesson. Because we know now that, like, Nintendo will sit on projects that are completely finished for a while. I think they're learning that it's better to announce something that is ready to release and have a shorter wait period between announcement and release than to announce something way early on in development and then realize, oh, this is not coming out for a long time, and then have people be like, hey, where is this, what is this, blah blah blah, blah, and just keep like nagging them about it. Yeah. I think they're finally learning, hey, finish the game, then announce it, then release it.
Yeah.
Because from those clips from Donkey Kong, that game's done.
Oh yeah, that game's in polish mode. Like,
that game looks polished. That game looks finished.
Yeah, it's in like final stages of polish. Like that,
yeah.
We're going to see a really good build the next 2 days.
100%. I think it's going to be like a near final build of that game that we're going to see.
Yeah.
And that inspires confidence.
Oh yeah.
Will Nintendo continue to make silly little mistakes with the Switch 2?
Yes, they're going to make
shown it in the middle of this press conference.
They're going to make so many weird things.
However, would it be a Nintendo console without its quirks?
Yeah, Nintendo thrives despite them. I mean, we can talk about how the 3DS was called the 3DS.
Yes.
And the final revision had no 3D.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you still know you are going to get quality games and a quality console.
Nintendo. Well, Elijah.
It's just gonna have a few silly little things
Yeah.
that you have to deal with.
Yeah. Elijah,
Yes.
this has been our Nintendo Switch 2 Direct discussion. Almost over. It's definitely well over 2.5 hours.
Yeah. 100%.
Uh, I think that's it. I'm tapped out on talking about Nintendo. Do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to share before I send us away?
No, I think I got my closing arguments across of how how I like the structure of this direct and how I think that this console has a bright future.
Yeah.
I still think this was a fantastic direct.
Yeah, I still
and
think
that
it's a fantastic direct. It's just so many weird decisions.
Yep, but that's Nintendo.
That's Nintendo.
And with that being said, yeah, I'm tapped out.
Yeah. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, if you like listening to us ramble and talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, we hyperfixate and talk about things every other week. Every other week, the first and third Wednesday of every month. You can find us on twitch.tv/Preston versus Elijah, where you can watch us. And if you want to subscribe, you can get it ad free on Twitch. Not only that, but if you're listening on podcast service, please rate us 5 stars. And also, leave a review. Tell them that we're awesome. The more reviews we get, the more on the algorithm we get pushed. And hopefully, we can push higher than the top 100 this week. Let's cross our fingers and hope.
Cross our fingers.
We can do that if the people who listened last week rate us 5 stars, leave a review on whatever podcast service. We're currently on YouTube Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, as well as you can watch our Twitch VOD for a few weeks after it is posted. Eventually, the Twitch VOD will also be up on YouTube as we start multi-streaming. But with that being said, my name's Preston.
My name's Elijah.
And thank you for watching and or listening. With that, Elijah, let's do our final words.